Hey, what's
Okay,
up, everybody?
thanks for tuning in. We got a special show match today, and I'm joined by Machine.
Hello, everybody. Pretty hyped for today's stream. This is one I actually reached out to Ox and said, please get me in there, because I mean, this is just gonna be an epic one for sure. g0rynich and Rhett, two of the greats in the foreign scene. You know, gonna be a little bit biased. Rhett is a good buddy of mine, so it's really just something I'm excited to cast. Seeing that he's always a player who's inactive, comes back and then is just at the top of the foreign scene time and time again. I really can't wait to see what he has to show, as well as g0rynich, who I guess just to talk a little bit about g0rynich today, you have to look no further than today's BSL results. Knocking out DeWalt, pretty big accomplishment there right off the bat, but multiple time, top BSL finalist, just a bruiser of a Zerg in the foreign scene, really taking out anybody who's anybody. He's just quite an incredible Zerg himself. Rhett, actually a Zerg player as well, but one of the few foreigners who actively race switches. He'll play Terran against Zerg, but Zerg against Protoss, and Zerg against Terran, respectively. So, kind of unique that we're getting to see not really his off race, because he'll even tell you himself maybe his best matchup is Terran versus Zerg. He just chooses Terran versus Zerg over Zerg versus Zerg because of just how volatile ZVZ is early game, and it's just never been his strong suit. Yeah, this is gonna be very epic. And yeah, Rhett, a really close friend of mine. I've known him since way back at the beginning of the media days. Just all around swell fellow. Definitely, I think acknowledged as the best player from the Netherlands to ever exist. He's just a really dominant force in the foreign scene for so many years, even through his StarCraft 2 days. He's a competitor, one of the few foreigners to actually live and train in Korea, and play on a professional team in Korea, which is obviously unheard of for foreigners. So yeah, today's match is going to be very exciting.
This is awesome. Big shout out to the individual Leo for organizing and sponsoring these matches, along with Esport Fund, which just sponsors everything Brood War related. The show match is worth $350. Trovo contributed $50. Something special about this besides being 9 games, and every single map or game is worth an equal percentage of the total prize. There is a classic map pool, and Machine, you've casted some of these show matches for us before. What do you think about the maps that we're going to be seeing in this show match?
I mean, they're nostalgic to say the least. No pun intended, because I believe even nostalgia's in this map pool. But these are really just some of the classic great maps across many top tournaments, WCGs, ASLs, in the past. A few of these maps, that we'll see are things like island maps. Estrella, for instance, Gorky Island. They're maps without a natural gas. Occasionally, maps like what do we got here? I believe. Well, Nostalgia doesn't have a natural gas. Our Point, Sim Gaming Go On, so 815 even. So this is gonna be unique. It's not going to be modern day Terran versus Zerg. This is going to be just the maps themselves, and their odd characteristics are going to force each of these competitors to kind of dig up some builds from the past that work on non-modern meta matchups and adjust. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to work here, but it should play out for some very fun games.
Hey, and we got Voddy in the house. Thanks for joining.
Hey, how's it going, Voddy? Good to see you, man. I'm doing quite well. So nice of you guys to allow me to join.
So,
It's me, it's Voddy. Just kidding.
hoping Voddy turns on his microphone so we can hear him. We will be starting soon. I'm kind of hyped about this as well. It gathered quite a bit of attention in the thread on TL.net.
Yeah, I really, don't blame it. There's a lot of people I'm sure that want to come back and watch anything Rhett does. He's really just a true competitor. I can't, speak highly enough of him. He's a player that I've said for a very long time could come back, and if he seriously trained, he would give a player, the likes of Bonneth, DeWalt, Dandy, a very serious competitive match. I would never say that he'd flat out win, but he'd make a tough match for even today's top foreigners.
So you're making Gory, who's his opponent, seem like the underdog here. From what I gather, Gory is active, right? He's
very active,
playing BSL. He's a member of Esport Fund Committee, which sponsors all kinds of Brood War events. So big shout out to him for doing that. And Rhett, I don't know what his activity is, but you're making him seem so good that he could just come in and still kick some ass.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I was saying at the beginning of this, and I'll, have to keep saying, I am biased. This is my boy here who I actually play with quite regularly when he is active. I want to say he was pretty active through this last fall and early winter, but then he hasn't been playing much since, so I'm not sure how that's really going to end up affecting this. But I can tell you, last fall, he right off the bat looks so strong. So I'll personally say g0rynich is the underdog. That being said, g0rynich knocked out DeWalt from BSL. I mean, what else do you got to say? He's already there. I was talking about Rhett potentially giving a player like DeWalt some competition, but g 0rynich has already done it. He's definitely tried and true. Isn't the kind of player like Rhett to take breaks, and I think his history kind of speaks for itself. So it's hard to say who would be the favorite here. And like I said, my own personal bias may be feeding into this one, but I'll tell you this, it's not going to be easy for g 0rynich either way.
Okay. Is Rhett's TVZ one of his strongest matchups? And what about g 0rynich's ZVT?
Once again, my own bias being the punching bag Zerg that, has to face up against him in practice matches all the time. I think he'll tell you his Terran versus Zerg is his strongest matchup. When I think of Rhett's play, he plays very standard, almost like to the book. If you think of almost like an Idra back in the day, I would be very surprised to see him mess around with too many mech builds, although he is a adaptable enough Terran that he knows all of the builds. He can 1-1-1, he can mech, he can do whatever he really wants, but his I guess strong suit would really just be his 4 to 5 racks +1 bio opener into SK Terran. I don't expect to see a ton of fancy drops. I don't expect to see, a ton of crazy mech switches late game. You're gonna see a lot of Marines, a lot of medics, and a lot of vessels, and he just knows how to control them so well and hit all of those, depot timings. He's definitely a very strong macro player, but he really just knows exactly where to walk the line with his units, and it can be something that's very frustrating for most Zergs to deal with.
I completely agree with this line is going to play.
Hey, thanks for joining us,
Hello.
Voddy.
I completely agree, but depending on the maps, he may have to do, if he wants to stick with pure bio, on some maps, I think you have to drop. Because the Zerg gets too many bases, and you have to threaten the Zerg somehow. And it's like you're making all these Marines, because you need to early game, and then you need to get some value out of them. If he has a bunch of Lurkers at a choke point, you essentially wasted them if you don't either deny bases with them or drop them, you know?
Very
So
true,
what is
very
the map rule, as a matter of fact? Because, I mean, on some maps, you can actually play without dropping at all. Like, say on Match Point, for example, you would never have to do anything. You can just make Marines and Vessels and deny the fourth forever. But on a map like, I don't know, let's say, what's a good example? Let's say, well, basically any 4-player map if the Zerg takes another main.
Luna the final. Yeah.
Luna the final? Well, okay, actually, that's a good example, actually, of a map, a 4-player map on which, even though the Zerg gets a main and another natural essentially for free, well, not really that much on that map because it's wide, but on that map, like, it's such a low economy map, you can actually just split map and just fight, micro, irradiate, be cost effective, and eventually win. Because there are only 4 gases per player. That's it.
Very true, very true. Yeah, we see a lot of minimized gases in some of these maps as well. And then I'm just my own Zerg bias, but I think island maps, if they're forced to play any island maps, that's got to be an advantage to Terran. It just always has been.
We've always been bad for Zerg, but the worst matchup was Zerg versus Protoss. That's like really bad. Terran versus Protoss is like playable for either race, you know. Terran versus Zerg is controversial if it is imbalanced, or how imbalanced it is, I should say, because like there are some examples of island maps from like 2005-ish, which was like the last time they were used, meaning players were the best they ever got on island maps. And Zerg did beat Terran, like even Nada at the time, who was, you know, Bondra, one of the goats. Like it did happen, and it doesn't look unplayable. But I mean, it is an orthodox position to say that it's bad for Zerg to play on island maps, but it's not as uncontroversial, the level of imbalance, as CVP.
Agreed.
In TVZ.
Yeah, it's not even close. Practicing Zerg versus Protoss is what made me switch to playing Terran on island maps, playing against G5 all day.
Yeah, it's just imbalanced. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
All right, so what outcome are you guys expecting? So it's 9 games. Every single game is going to be played. How many games do you think Rhett is going to take off g0rynich?
That really depends. You know, I don't actually know what shape Rhett is in. I know that he has been really good, and obviously might be really good now again. So I'm actually going to let... I'm going to do a classic thing here, where I start talking first, just to say that I'm not going to say anything, and say that you can talk instead.
Like I keep saying, my bias, but I know my boy Rhett. I know I would never want to be matched up against him in any kind of a show match because of how strong his Terran versus Zerg is. That being said, g0rynich, I mean, quite the competitor himself. I've got to give the edge to my boy Rhett, though. I'm going to say Rhett takes this either 5-4 or 6-3.
Okay.
I think the maps are going to play into this a little bit too. Like, truly, the maps, although we saw Eon Zerg win on Nostalgia not that long ago, it's so rare and so difficult to do. And I feel like so many things have to line up that some of these maps may play into giving Rhett the little bit of an edge he needs.
Yeah, that's a good point. Some of the maps are quite strange and unusual, which... I mean, who does that favor? Like, does that favor... They're both standard players. So I'm not sure who would be better in a map like that. Now, obviously, Zerg versus Protoss. It's kind of hard for Protoss. Zerg versus Terran. Usually, I mean, Terran's probably happy with the lack of gas, but July Zerg did smash 3-0 on Nostalgia. Like, that was a long time ago when that map was played, but...
It happens. It happens. But I think the majority of the time, most Zergs tend to struggle. So I personally think... also, when I think of g0rynich, I don't think of... I think of a very solid standard Zerg. I don't think of someone who really is, you know, as fit to think outside the box on some of these one-gas maps, island maps, things like that. So that may come into play, whereas I believe one-gas Terran bio would be absolutely fine for Rhett to open with, and
You just go SK Terran with one starport instead of two. That's
exactly. And I think
Brilliant.
that's I plan on I think that's what we're gonna see.
All right, guys, let's get into game one. And what is the map?
Drum roll. Oh, my bad. 1 sec here.
Do we have a channel so I can see the password? Are we in OPTQ?
Yes.
On East?
US West.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. Dahlia of Jungle.
Oh, that's a map. Yikes. I actually think that map, it might be pretty balanced in CBT. Like, it seems playable, because the second gas, rather, isn't that difficult to take, you know? It's really not that hard.
It's definitely not. It's such a unique map, though, because that mineral only in your main, both Terran can siege it with siege tanks, but I also believe Zerg can deny mining with a lurker.
Yeah, that's right.
So, something you definitely don't see in more modern maps.
Yeah, you certainly don't. It's an inside mineral only that you can siege and lurker. And obviously storm drop very well.
But still, just a single gas in the main early. Zerg gets the quicker third, so you know they will be earlier to receiving that second gas, which you know will benefit their tech, but kind of an odd map. Definitely just an odd map. I'm not sure what to expect here. I think pushing, if you scout that your opponent takes that early inside mineral only, it's beneficial to do things like bunker rush, the back of the natural, you know, with a barracks or something scouting overhead. It can be really frustrating for all races, really, to kind of deal with and defend.
Yeah, we might actually see some Hydra Lurker playing because, I mean, you're not going to go mutas on one gas, are you? Like, that's insanity.
We did actually see, I think Eon Zerg go one gas muta.
Yeah, but he's insane, so he's good.
Yeah, he's insane. Literally, that's really the way to say it. Like, no one quite plays like Eon. So I don't want to rule it out, especially because I don't know what to expect from g0rynich here. Like, I'm just thinking, even myself as a Zerg player, like, what do you do if you get one gas early? I feel like lurker is the way. Like, I would feel much more comfortable knowing, okay, they're on a single gas themselves. You gotta expect early bio. You know, you would never just go mech off one gas, so that's ruled out almost. But yeah, I don't know. I guess if your muta control is good enough, you can get away with it.
Yeah, actually, Mutalisks have just taken over and got them to do things that they couldn't do before, like fewer and fewer sunken colonies, fewer and fewer anything else, and then it's just like it's just evolved to pure Mutalisk. And now maybe the Mutalisks can even do it on one gas. Who knows?
Exactly.
Actually, why not? Because there is this thing, you know, where you just put a hatch on a third immediately and defend it with Mutalisks, and that's gonna give you a second gas, right? So
it's my favorite thing to do. Yeah, I think you're right.
All right, guys, let's get into game one. Thanks for waiting.
Oh boy, here we go. Game one, Rhett versus g0rynich. We have Soul's g0rynich spawning as the brown Zerg at the 12 o'clock position of Dahlia of Jungle. And we also have Rhett spawning as the orange Terran at the 6 o'clock position. So right off the bat, this is you know, they're kind of cross map, a little far away from each other. I wonder how that's going to kind of affect their openings here.
right, yeah, does that favor a race? In the past, when people played on maps like this one, people would usually say that close positions favors one race and cross positions favors the other, but it's not really the case as much anymore in modern StarCraft.
Yeah, true. I feel like close positions, depending on the position, favors one. Not even a
Oh, for
race,
sure, still.
just like a one player or the other. Let's say Rhett spawned in the 9 o'clock position here, and then he's already able to push to that low ground mineral only inside the main of g0rynich. Like that sucks. Like no Zerg
Yeah.
wants that, you know. And even vice versa. What if, you know, Rhett spawned at the 3 o'clock position, and then g 0rynich is able to go quick lurker, get a lurker behind that mineral only. Like that's annoying as well. So
Right. Now, normally close by air here would be brutal against Mutalisks, but we may not see Mutalisks on one gas. So
yeah, very true.
I would be inclined to say that cross positions are good for Terran because, but I don't know. Like all of the things that you can use close by air, they cost a lot of gas, and you don't just have gas on this map until later. So I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. Oh, we see a drone going to the top right. Actually, he's just going for it.
I like this. I like this. I think this is maybe the best way to play
And we
the
got
map.
14 CC from Rhett. So that's good for g0rynich. That means he gets away with this easily.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, it also means g 0rynich got away with his second gas early. So who knows?
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's good for g0rynich, I think.
Oh! I thought
He
you said
gets away with it,
orange.
yeah.
My bad. Okay.
Oh, orange. Yeah, g0rynich. Right.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think just these openings kind of favor g 0rynich here. Spawning pool going down the main. Very standard timing on that gas. Finally hitting those drones, and actually a very quick drone scout as well. So g 0rynich is going to find out exactly what he's up against here right off the bat. Meanwhile, Rhett's playing a little blind. You know, no SCV scout quite yet. Second barracks going down in the main. Ooh, that's actually really funny to get your gas stolen. That's hilarious, actually, getting your single gas geyser stolen. Normally, on any other map, you'd just take your extractor at your refinery at your natural if you're Terran, but with this being the only gas, I like this already from g 0rynich. Oh, he cancels though.
Oh, he cancels it. Wow, interesting.
Yeah,
and Rhett immediately takes the gas. So actually, this is not stupid because he did delay the gas, but without losing the drone. He just didn't want to go all in and spend the drone on it. But he did delay the gas. Rhett would have taken the gas earlier had that not happened, for sure.
Very true. Very true. So great plays here from g 0rynich so far. I love seeing it, especially on these unique maps like that gas steal. You'd probably never see, but clearly g 0rynich has been practicing this map and this playstyle in particular.
Yeah, that is a good move on this map. You can do it on other maps, but it's especially good on this map. Now, Rhett needs to find out what he's up against. He needs to know that it's too much Mutalisk, and he needs to know that there's an expansion over there, because that's going to tell him that what he needs to do in the mid game is to just keep getting more and more Marines, because sunken colonies aren't really going to work as well as they normally would. So just keep making more Marines and threatening to attack the Zerg, but never actually going all in, because then he can never make drones. And that's going to be the way to macro the Zerg.
Very nice scouting from Rhett. He went just right up into the main, saw the creep, knows he's there, and then confirmed top right. So he knows g 0rynich is on 2 gases so far.
Yeah, very smart.
No confirmation on whether it's Lurker or Spire, though.
Right, that is the issue. Now, he's going up with his Marines, very cocky, considering usually when Zergs don't have sunken colonies, which obviously g 0rynich can't have now, they have a lot of speedlings. But right now, g 0rynich doesn't have it, so very good by Rhett to know that, to sense that.
Yes, absolutely. And speed does finally finish. This will prevent any further SCV scouting.
Right.
So this is but it's still, I think Rhett's in a fine position here. Third barracks going down. eBay perfectly on time to deal with the Spire. He just seems confident to continue this game.
Yeah, he does have that win condition we talked about. He went out to try to fake an attack to provoke some Zerglings, but g 0rynich didn't take the bait. He just made drones. So, economically speaking, it's normal so far, because Rhett wouldn't have taken a second gas by now, yet. But the difference really is going to come into play when he just can't make any Sunkens, and that might be a problem against a huge bio ball. Rhett could win this game with only bio.
Very true. I mean, how do you defend? He's going to have to defend with almost pure Muta.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You can maybe make one sunken in your main to start pushing towards that ramp. But, I mean, really...
It's gonna cost so much, you know? Because then,
Yeah.
normally you can make sunkens in 2 spots to defend 3 gases. Here, he can only make sunkens in 2 spots to defend 2 gases, and he needs to crawl with a creep colony to the ramp, so it's even more expensive.
Very true.
So Red needs to recognize that, and just, given the opening he's made, and given that he only has 1 gas, he should just make a lot of Marines and keep fighting and keep threatening more sunkens.
Ooh, almost catches this
Catching an
Overlord.
Overlord.
Oh, he will catch the Overlord. That's big! You know, that's a
really
big supply block at a key point in this match.
Yeah.
We do have 7 Muta up for g0rynich, 8. He can hold this, but, I mean, he's going to have to control this perfectly, or Rhett could win right here.
Right, yeah. g0rynich should theoretically not die here, but Rhett needs to not go all in. He needs to threaten the attack, make g0rynich make units instead of drones, and then not actually fight, then go and reinforce. The longer he does that, the more he economically hurts the Zerg, while he can continue making SCVs.
And as you say that, I mean, Rhett almost instinctively just backing up. You're absolutely right. He didn't feel confident here.
Yeah, he stimmed in as if he had a timing, but then that was just like to provoke the sunken, I guess. Then he went back. So it looks like this group is going to get isolated and taken out, which isn't ideal, but it's really fine, actually, if you can trade well. This happens a lot, but the Zerg is so much more mobile than you. Like, you have to cover your base against counterattacks, and so this happens a lot. But Red is actually teching up. He's getting a factory.
Yeah, he wants those vessels out to deal with these Muta, I'm sure. Meanwhile, we also see g0rynich having a Queen's Nest in the main. Whose position do you like better right here?
I like g0rynich's position. Red had a good win condition. He... say that he did that stim up to provoke the sunken, and then he pulled back, and he linked his 2 armies together, reinforced it. But then they would have been alive. Then the 3rd base that's currently going up in the top left wouldn't be going up. It would be threatened. g0rynich would have to make sunken colonies everywhere. It would have been good. But right now, we have a 3-base Zerg about to be against a 1-base Terran, which is not good for Terran.
Yeah, when do you believe Rhett should end up taking bottom left here? Feels like pretty soon.
Yeah, it's he has to take it when you would normally take it with Bio, with SK Terran. So he essentially has to play normally, but with 1 starport instead, which would be fine if he were denying the top left.
But he's not able to.
Right. There's probably still going to be 1 timing attack that Red has in him before whatever, all the risks come out, I suppose. But the only thing that's going to accomplish probably is to force a lot of sunkens, and more sunkens than on the normal map, granted. So he does have that going for him.
A lot of Muta moving towards the south side of the map, looking to harass this mineral only. There are 4 turrets. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough against 11 Muta here. Ooh, nice repairs. He is choosing to counterattack. And actually, g0rynich backing up.
He has to.
Surprised.
He actually would lose that. If he stayed, well, he can stay a little bit and then back off. So he's backing off a little early, perhaps. But that's because he's scared of this army. He wants to slow down and harass it on the way because he doesn't really have any sunkens. So
I don't believe he saw anything with that Overlord scouting the ramp yet. I don't know if he knows the bio's out here. It seems like he does.
He knows, because he assumes if the Terran isn't responding, it means he's attacking.
Well, it was a good assessment. It seems to be correct. And, I mean, Rhett moving across the map with quite a bit of Marines so far. +1 armor instead of +1 attack. I wonder if he was expecting Muta.
Very interesting. If you go +1 armor first, that's like an anti-lurker thing.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
So maybe before he scouted it, before he confirmed. Oh yeah, he thought the lurker because it's like a 1 gas map, so that's why he thought that. So, Rhett, probably not mentally prepared to fight this rather standardish ZVT, and he's going to have to face Ultralisk soon. It's going to be difficult.
It's going to be very difficult.
To take a top left, but he doesn't know it's there.
Yeah, he doesn't know it's there. I mean, he has to assume. I feel like there's just no reason to take another mineral-only base if you can get a 3rd gas at this point.
Yeah, there has to be an expansion somewhere. The only question is where.
A lot of bio moving up. Rhett really just putting on the pressure by sitting in the middle here. Ooh, Science Vessel might get picked off here right at the end. Never mind. It will survive for now.
So g0rynich cutting off some reinforcements. That's good. Now, he does have Ultralisks on the way, but the economy is still quite weak. Red could still force even more Sunkets at the top left to weaken the economy even more, and then possibly win a macro game, even against Ultras. Because he's taking a third.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Ooh, big Irradiate going down. Ah, but it was on a weak Muta.
Ah, yeah. Sometimes that happens. Even to the
Good.
best.
Yeah, good defense here by g0rynich.
It's
4
so
Sunkens.
Yeah, so many Sunkens. Now, obviously, he's forced more Sunkens than normally because of the nature of the map, which is good.
Yeah.
But he needs to attack top left, you know? That's really what he needs.
I feel like 4 Sunkens, he could break that with 5 medics and, you know, 2-3 groups of Marines here.
Yeah, with the D-Matrix for sure. Even without it, it's still under threat. But that's why he's trying to cut off these reinforcements. Okay, he's just going for it.
There will be Ultras hatching here from this base quite soon. I'm a little worried.
Yeah, these are too many Marines.
Big flank.
There's gonna be 3 Ultras right there. Oh, he's dead. Okay, there's 1 Ultra. 2.
Ooh, good medic wall against these Ultras, though. Very well done here from Rhett.
Yeah. The one timing, the Eon timing.
It's actually funny that +1 armor is helping against these Ultralists so much. They can't quite 2-shot the Marines, which is working pretty well.
Yeah, he does have 1-1 now, but you can see that his armor record is actually ahead of his attack update.
Oh man, and that's just too much bio here from Rhett. g0rynich will fall game 1. Wow. Ha. That's I mean, very well played by both players. I like g0rynich's adjustment to take that further expansion early on. You know, he got that 3rd gas up as well. I'm not really sure what his mistake was there.
Yeah. Well, on this map, he got away with taking the gas, but at the cost of having to make more sunken colonies than usual. But then that means he's weaker for a while, right? And the game never got to the point at which it mattered for the Terran to only have 1 gas, so he was essentially just weaker because he never made it to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Terran was just playing the way he normally would be up until then.
Huh. Yeah, that was I don't know, bizarre. I really liked the play from, you know, g0rynich there. He made the adequate amount of Muta, just enough to defend at all points, and then droned, got a very quick 3rd gas. You know, he had the Ultra Tech. Maybe if he adjusted and made Defiler, it might have allowed him to just hang on to those 3 gases a little bit longer. You know, but that's really the only thing I can think of.
I can think of one more thing, because there is one way to force the game into a gas game earlier, and that is to make Guardians, because Terran is not going to be able to do 2-port Wraith with Cloak. He's going to have fewer vessels, he's only going to have Marines, and Guardians either defensively or offensively over the natural, that area we saw, would have been great, because he was floating on 1,300 gas. 13 potential Guardians he could have gone for. And they would have saved him too, in the final attack if he had had them.
Yeah, very, very true. It's always so awkward opening Guardian against vessels, but I guess at least it is just 1 gas vessel. You're right. Maybe that would be a better option, actually.
All right, guys, what's the next map?
WCG Gaia.
Yeah. Wow.
You guys know who made this? He also made a very famous map, Fighting Spirit.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
This is made by Rose of Dream.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he also made Tower Cross and a bunch of other maps.
Interesting.
How do you think this map is going to play out?
It's pretty balanced, actually, I have to say. Not positionally, but racially.
Yes, I was going to say not positionally. I remember, if you ever get the top right base, you're just angry from the start of the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to say about this map. Like, first of all, look at the entrances. If you click on the map here, just look at, like, on some entrances, sunken colonies cover everything, and on some, they don't cover the back entrance. You know, so like, what's up with that? Like, on some of these places, you can forge expand, on some you can't. It's ridiculous. And, not to mention, obviously, close by air, 2 Mutalisk, have fun with that, you know?
Exactly. If you're close by air here, and your opponent goes 2 hatch Muta, like, it's just good game. And also, if you spawn close vertically and your opponent bunker rushes, it gets to you insanely fast.
Yeah,
so
you're right about that.
There's just so many shenanigans on this map. This was always a tough map to play in the draw for WCG back in the day.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Game 2, here we go.
Alrighty, game 2 of g0rynich versus Rhett. We have Rhett spawning as the orange Terran at the 6 o'clock position. Meanwhile, we also have Souls g0rynich spawning as the brown Zerg once again at the top right of Gaia. Ha! I mean, like
Good
we were
spot for
saying,
Voddy, I think. It's not close by air, which would have been insane, but it is one of the better spawning locations. Well, you said you didn't like this one, but the reason I think this is good is that the back door entrance doesn't create a second place you have to sunken up, essentially.
yeah, very true, but things like siege tank timings up on that high ground positioning are so much more difficult to defend on this position in particular because they can siege the natural so
they
easily.
Can shoot your sunkens from there. That's true. Yeah, like
Also,
a tanky vessel push on this map could be very strong.
It really can be. If I was g0rynich, I'd be a little frustrated getting this position just in general. I always thought top right was one of the weaker positions to spawn on this map. Just because I mean there's just a lot to it. But
yeah, I think I agree
very...
with you actually. Thinking about it, as a Terran you like it because as a Terran, Red's position is annoying against speedlings because the speedlings can come in from behind and there's nowhere you can put the bunker to cover everywhere, you know. But as a Zerg,
very true.
Base, you're not really worried about like, you know, these like one base 3 Rex sunken bust or whatever, or run bys. It's not a big deal anymore.
True. The one thing is the top right, I feel like has the least amount of area in the main to place buildings, which can be a little frustrating for Terran too. But other than that, that's about it.
Look at this rush distance here. Imagine like BBS in your natural right here. It's like that would have been insane.
Yeah, it would be really difficult to hold. And Rhett and g0rynich scout each other right off the bat. They both know exactly what's going on now.
Yeah, I don't think g0rynich is the kind of player to go for like a speeding all-in, but look at Red's natural and how strong that would be compared to a standard map. I mean...
Oh, yes.
It's not like you just die as a Terran, it's just a strong option, you know? And then the rush distance is short too. It could be scary. But I don't think that's gonna come to play here.
Yeah, that natural is just impossible to wall for Terran here. I mean, even if you place 2 barracks at the front and you were doing like a, you know, 10-10 racks opening or something like that, it, you know, it doesn't even quite wall it. So it's really difficult.
Yeah, we have 2 standard gentlemen here. Being iron fist of conservative play, so probably we won't see that.
Yeah. Wow, Rhett's so bold, just placing that command center right at the natural.
Yeah.
No bunker yet. You know, he feels very safe with that SCV inside g0rynich's main. Scouting that layer timing right on time, as per usual with g0rynich. Yeah, this is about as standard of an opening as I'd ever expect to see on this map.
But yeah, so it is going to be most likely to Mutalisk. He could add a Hydralisk then and go for Lurker right now if he wanted to, but most likely it's going to be Mutalisk. And what do you think about Rhett's main and where to put the turrets? Do you think this is a more difficult base to defend Mutalisks with than some other ones?
Yeah, I think it is. If you look at that natural, the cliff above it would make for a pretty good area to kind of harass. Just how open and wide it is, how much surface area is around the circumference of this main. You know, he's got to defend these barracks, he's got to defend the Vespian Geyser, Depot in the main, his own natural. It's just a lot, really, to defend. I'd maybe feel, you know, a little worried being in this position.
Yeah, the main base, I would say, is worse compared to g0rynich position for placing turrets because the gas is like in the way, the minerals aren't all facing the edge of the map. But the natural is easier because he's got all this space underneath compared to g0rynich's natural, which doesn't really have any space there.
Very true, actually. Very, very true.
Anyway,
yeah, at least you
Turok
can
Academy,
place some turrets.
probably to force some sunkens. So Turok Academy versus Tuat Mutalisk. And the Turok Academy shouldn't kill g0rynich, but it will force some sunken colonies, which is good.
Nice little Zergling harass movement coming out here from g0rynich around that back entrance of Rhett's natural. I like this.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you really can do about it though.
He's essentially forcing the bunker, because on this map, if you don't build a bunker, that's a big call out where you're saying you're not going to do anything. You're not making any Zerglings, which you could have gotten away with here. But if g0rynich had made Zerglings and there had not been a bunker, Red would have taken massive damage. This bunker is placed quite well, though. Very good placement there.
Ooh, forces an SCV pull, but doesn't quite kill the SCV, so good reaction timing there from Rhett.
And Red knows there's no speed on the links, because he sees these slow links. That's why he's so cocky walking out like this.
Yeah, there's no Marines really left to defend those 4 speedlings.
Right,
Ooh,
but they are only 4.
That's true. I mean,
Right.
I feel like g0rynich has already got 2 Sunkens down. I'm not sure what he can really expect to get done here.
Yeah, Red should not press this. He should just check, see that they're 2 Sunken, and walk back, which he's doing. Very good. Yeah. But now, imagine taking a 3rd base here as Zerg. He has a drone there at the top left. Red could threaten that for sure. This 3rd base is not safe yet, for sure.
I feel like it's so far away though. I don't know if Rhett could even threaten it.
Yeah, it seems like Red's going to be more defensive. He's putting up turrets, going to take the vessels. There is this style where you essentially you skimp a little bit on defense as long as you can in TVC, and you just go out and attack the Zerg instead, but Red is not going for that. So the 3rd base should be coming up.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we should probably be expecting a factory here from Rhett.
Yeah, there
shortly.
could be a tank push. A tank vessel push. That would be strong.
Especially in these positions.
Right, exactly.
Wow, g0rynich actually moving in here. Scouted the bunker again, decides to back up. Rhett's in pretty good place to defend this. Oh!
Ooh.
Almost gets a free
that's
medic. You never like seeing that.
Yeah, the medics, of course, are the premium targets to go for. But overall, aside from that, no damage done at all so far to Red.
Yep, and vice versa. I feel like g0rynich taken almost no damage. You know, lost some lings as you'd expect early.
Oh! The damage. Ooh, another medic. Yikes.
That's big. That's very big.
But there is some damage being done in that he's forced a lot of turrets, essentially. And that's nothing to scoff at, you know? The recent +1 5-racks versus 3-edge hatch Muta, was so strong was because you didn't have to make as many turrets as early as you had.
Oh, that's very true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of the give or take of, you know, going 5-racks versus this 3-racks starport opener. You really just need to use these Marines to just defend. You can't put any pressure on early.
Right.
I almost would like to see a turret here.
Oh yeah, the ramp? That wouldn't be bad. You're right about that. But maybe he has enough turrets. He has a starport on the way already, as it is. And g0rynich isn't continuing to mass mutilus because he's getting lurkers and he's taking to hive. And it does look like a tank push is on the way because we have a machine shop here.
Oh, very nice. I think we both called it. And why not? You know, if you look at this distancing between both of their naturals, as well as the alternate pathway to that high ground above the natural of g0rynich, once Terran secures themselves there, it's just so impossible to break out of them, or break them out of it. You know, you almost need the mass mutilus in order to handle it.
And you would actually might need 2 Dark Swarms in this position. You might. It's possible you might need a Dark Swarm to the right and a Dark Swarm to the left.
Yes. Yeah, very true. I mean, then you could just even rally from your natural outside the front while you're holding that high ground. It would be a nightmare for Zerg.
But you know what? If this goes to late game, this path to the right is very good for Zerg. Imagine Zerglings and like a Defiler, or just Zerglings, going from the Zerg natural to the Terran natural on a highway outside everything else. That's pretty sweet.
And that's exactly, I think, what we see here. Rhett starting to take control of that high ground positioning. g0rynich, I mean, with lurkers just in the perfect time. Nidus Canal going up at his own natural to link to that 12 o'clock 3rd gas base. Defiler Mound down, Consume on the way. Everything he really needs at this point in the game.
Yeah, looking very comfortable for g0rynich.
First 2 tanks walking across the map, though. This is going to be a pretty precarious timing here. g0rynich could at least take some damage from these 2 tanks. He's not too
really
careful.
the goal here is to kill as many lurkers as possible before swarm. That's the goal. And if he can get, I don't know, 4, then I'd say the tanks pay for themselves, for sure.
First siege tank's going up. g0rynich repositions those 4 lurkers and going in for a pickoff, but he will not get it. I mean,
Good
Rhett's
Michael
just
by
in too good a position. Ooh, we do have 2 defilers finishing up. Consume is seconds from being done. I believe g0rynich's help barely.
Yes, and he only lost Sunkens, no lurkers. That's a big deal. Very good.
And first Dark Swarm going down here. Ooh, Rhett not quite able to pick off one of those lurkers. And he's going to be forced to retreat. What a hold. What a hold from g0rynich here. Ooh, big Radiate going down on that clump of mutas, though.
Yeah, massive Radiate. Utterly massive. So this is going to turn into SK Terra now. He did lose the tanks. If you keep the tanks, they're not entirely useless. You can use them to tax the multitasking of the Zerg. You can snipe, like when a swarm runs out, attack at one spot, and then siege up at the lurkers, stuff like that. But he cannot do that now, so this is going to turn into pure SK Terran.
Even
we
just
still don't see a
defense.
second starport.
Oh. Rhett's vessel maybe getting caught by a group of mutas here. Does scout that 12 o'clock position, but decides to back up. I feel like Rhett's a little frustrated here. He's got so much bio and he can't do anything with them.
2 lurkers go down. Nice. For Rhett, good pickoff.
Very good pickoff. He's just so quick. Rhett's just so quick with these groups of bio. You know, if there is an opening, he will exploit it.
Yeah,
And
we really need to see a second starport and a second engineering bay for Rhett.
I think one of Rhett's more frustrating qualities is his vessel retention. You won't really see him lose many vessels to Scourge. He just knows the exact positioning.
Yeah, and that's huge. When you're playing SK Terran against Zerg.
Oh no, there's no lurkers here.
No lurkers. Holy.
Oh, walking into way too many Zerglings, though, I believe. But he does end up sniping that Nidus. Oh, another swarm going down. Look at the amount of Dark Swarms he's forced out, though. He will end up losing one of these vessels.
Just one.
Overall, I do like that trade for g0rynich, though. I don't think that's what Rhett was intending.
Oh, maybe you should have run into the main. You know, maybe that's what he needed.
Yeah, maybe. Possibly. I think he just had barely enough units to defend there. Well, meanwhile, oh my goodness, Rhett making so many fire bats. I mean, this is one way to deal with Dark Swarm.
Fire bats are very strong versus a 3-gas, non-ultralisk Zerg. You know? You can actually destroy lurkers.
Yeah, they absolutely can, in low numbers. And I mean, g0rynich very much loves his low lurker, high defiler count, units, which is pretty much ideal. You know, if he hits some big plagues here, I can tell you it could turn the tide.
Yeah, it's to save gas for more ultralisks later, and not making so many lurkers. And we do see an ultralisk cavern.
Oh, Rhett's stimming up. He's looking to move in. Oh, nice
First
plague
lurker
there
goes down.
From g0rynich.
Second lurker goes down. g0rynich might be too greedy here, assuming he's safe because he has to swarm with some lurkers, but
Firebat's just so strong.
Saving a little bit of gas for those ultras.
Running in with those Marines. He does get a very nice plague off. Another vessel does fall as well. It's a little frustrating. But Rhett really trying to target down that Nidus, and it does fall. And now it's Muta against these 2-0 Marines. I just think it's not enough. GG is called by g0rynich.
So your hyping up of Rhett so far has been well justified. That was good. Yikes.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's just a monster.
Would he have held that if he had his Mutalisk? Because he seems like they were AFK for a little while there, right?
They were at the top left, defending against drops there, which is, it's a good spot to have them.
It is. It's a good spot to have him, but it may have made the difference. I think he absolutely was a little afraid of drops, even though Rhett was only on a single starport, and he just wanted to negate that risk of losing them. But maybe if he had reacted a little quicker, pulled in those Muta, and he might have been able to pick off more fire bats, or even some of the initial Marines that ended up doing so much damage. So it could have made a difference.
Yeah, but really, I think he should have made 2 or 3 more lurkers. That was so greedy. He had 1,700 gas. It's like, whoa, bro, relax. I know you want to make ultras, but that's a lot of gas, dude. Had he had 3 more lurkers, he would have survived the Firebat bust for sure.
I think you're absolutely right. I
So a
mean,
little
he
bit
had more
greedy.
defilers than he had lurkers. I mean, it's tough to do, right? When there's so much chaos going on, the Terrans constantly breathing down your neck right outside your natural,
Yeah.
hovering over you with vessels. It's you know, you can get a little flustered, and I think that's all that was. He probably
Right.
meant to have a few more lurkers and just
Yeah, I think
didn't
you're right
quite
about
work
that, yeah.
out.
He's a standard enough player. He likes to play standard, from what I know. I don't think he would be greedy like that, especially not on the map, such as Gaia. So I think it was just being flustered.
So guys, the way that the map pool works, I think the first one is chosen by the organizers, which was Dahlia, and then it's loser picks. So Gory picked the last map, and I guess he picked this one. Which one are we seeing right now?
Python. He might be fishing for close by air positions, since he likes to go to a Mutalisk so far.
It's also, of the map pool, one of the more standard maps. Everyone's played Python, you know, to death. It's like the 2v2 map in every scene. You know, so obviously a map everyone will be very familiar with. You know, gas in the main, gas in the natural. There's nothing about it that's really irregular for the most part, other than maybe having the corner island bases, as well as just if you spawn close by air, it can be a little difficult to hold things like quick muta. But that's about it.
There is one thing on this map that is unusual by modern standards, which we will not see being exploited most likely, and that is, again, the natural is huge, so that's very good for speedlings early on. But g0rynich doesn't seem to want to go for that.
Yeah.
Somebody like Eon Zerg would just destroy Terrans on this map.
I think you're absolutely right. You know, g0rynich seems to just be very confident with like his standard openers, but a lot of these maps don't really call for the current standard meta, like we were saying before. They're different. You kind of need to exploit their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, I think 2H Mute on this map is good, and like maybe like 12 to 16 speedings into 2H Mute is good on this map. I do believe in that, and I do think you can take a new main without many sunken colonies too. So this, like you said, is the most standard map so far. I like, by the way, that we've been advancing in time. We started with the older map, and then
yeah, got to
slightly
the
less old and slightly less old.
We're playing in chronological order here.
Yeah.
So g0rynich scouts 12 o'clock, sees those minerals haven't been mined, which is kind of a cute way of recognizing that there's no way Rhett spawned at 12. And he will be moving towards Rhett's natural at the 9 o'clock position here. Once again, a very standard 12 hatch, 11 pool, 10 gas coming out of g0rynich. I feel like he's done this each and every game we've seen so far. I mean, why not? Rhett doesn't seem to be playing particularly aggressive early on. He doesn't seem to be... I guess he was playing a little greedy on game 1 with that 14cc opener. But, you know, he's been given no reason to feel unsafe with going a 12 hatch opener early game. So he's going to keep
Nor has he been
exploiting
given a reason to think that he can punish a 14cc. Because I don't think he realized... Well, actually, he did scout it, fine. But that was on a map with an inside expansion. That's not really the same. You know, it doesn't really reveal that Rhett would do it here. I want to mention, by the way, Rhett's supply depot position. The reason he put it there is that Zergs, like you said earlier, want to check the mineral count with the Overlord so that they can see where you are without revealing where they are. So Rhett put the depot there so that he would essentially intercept the Overlord and see it.
To scout it. I see. I like that, actually. I was wondering why they were there. Huh. It's kind of cute. Well, both players see each other. Drone scout going down in the main of Rhett. Meanwhile, Rhett's got an SCV in the main. Sees the lair timing. Very standard 3-minute lair. Yeah, this is just looking pretty standard so far. I don't know. There's no other way to say it. This is a cookie cutter TVZ if you've ever seen one.
I completely agree. Very standard so far. I have to wonder, will he go for some speedlings? It would be so strong given his reputation and what he's done so far. We see the first depot coming up. So Rhett is thinking about it.
I think you're right. I feel like this could be a speedling game. We do have, you know, that speed being researched, right, with the second 100 gas from the Zerg. He's cleared out the SCV scout in the main. But actually, no, we see more drones being built. I guess he
Yeah,
won't
you know
be
what?
going.
You know, the second level of Galaxy Brain intelligence is that you don't go speedings. You just have the threat of it give you an economic advantage for free because the Terran's scared and it makes a bunker. So,
Exactly.
you could just do that.
Which I feel like he's going to do here. He saw an SCV go out, and it looks like he's going to try to pick off that scout once again. Ooh, very nice surround. But this SCV still might be able to scout the natural.
One of the reasons Ret is sacrificing SCVs like this to scout is because he wants to see if there are more Zerglings coming. So, some value being given already. Although, normally... Oh, he's gonna... No.
Oof.
Gets in.
Wow, gets in.
Sees the Spire, that's huge. So good for Ret. Or does he? Did he see it?
No, he did not. He did not see it.
But, okay, here's the thing. He didn't see it then anyway. I mean, it still looks like Mutalisks. At this point, I think the right call is to assume Mutalisk. Really, I do. Given what he saw.
Exactly. And I mean, g0rynich, neither game so far in this series did he really give Rhett any reason why he should expect early lurker, you know?
Right.
So why you know, if it's been working, why adjust?
So the
eBay's
fast third
down.
base attempt. No, actually, he was going out with the drone to take a third. Then he saw these Marines and he immediately made a sunken with that drone. 2 sunkens instead.
He hasn't seen any medics yet, so he shouldn't expect any type of a stim rush quite yet. Actually, I say that, and 2 medics.
2 Marines getting caught.
Ooh, very nice
mistake for
pickup. Yeah, a little sloppy, that Marine
Oh,
control.
g0rynich canceled one of the creep colonies. Because he was like, oh, you're just faking me out. You're not actually doing anything here. And so he canceled one.
I love it. It's exactly what he should be doing, especially after picking off those 2 Marines. You know, Rhett's a smart enough player. He knows that his window's been closed for any type of pressure. Time to just turret up, defend these early Mutalisks.
Look at the base g0rynich is taking. Bottom right. And Ret is going not fast vessel, but up to 4 barracks. And that is the counter here. I think that is very much the counter. Just go like all in, mass marine, like I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, you were there actually. You remember when Danny played against Siki? And he just kept taking marines? Like, do that now, for sure.
It's such a good play here. Anytime, you know, you don't have like a small ramp leading to a main, or to that third to defend, and you're forced to defend these wide open areas, it can just be a nightmare for Zerg. Especially against Bio.
Too much. Because you keep making units thinking that the Terran is some sort of a clock that is going to attack into you, and then you go back to making drones. But if the all-in never comes, you never get to make your drones. And then you have to make like a huge wall of sunkens, which costs even more. It just costs too much to not die to it.
I love this 4-racks play from Rhett. Not really quite as much of a meta build anymore. You see a lot more 3-racks or 5-racks openers, but this middle ground build, I feel like, is a staple of Rhett's play. He does this very often, and it feels like a pretty overwhelming force of bio to deal with in general because he's hitting all of his timings like usual. But then you have relatively quick vessels to follow it up with as well. All right, 8 Marines diving into the main here of Rhett. Kill a turret, and then they're going to force to defend. Meanwhile, Rhett's going to put the pressure on here.
Yeah, force a lot of sunkens, and then don't actually lose your Marines, because you just want to keep making more Marines and never losing them, forcing more Mutas in Missouri, and then, like, when you have, I don't know, like 4 or 5 groups, that's when you attack, that's when you go all in. So right now, you should just focus on not wasting any Marines and skirmishing with these Mutalisks. Picking them off as much as you can. Mutas go in, 1 Mutas go down. 1 Muta goes down. Very good start for Red.
We have some pretty cool play here from g0rynich as well, though. +1 armor for ground being researched, +1 armor for air, almost completing. It looks like he wants to play
but
like
look at this huge attack. Only 1 sunken. Forcing another one. Good damage from Red.
I mean, at the same time, no drones
at the bottom
third.
right. Yeah, see, we see Zerglings coming out of the third base, not drones. This is exactly what I was talking about, and Red is doing it this game very well. Does he know where the third base is? He's going to go check now.
I think he just scanned it.
And look,
he's going
the
straight
army's
to it.
counterattacking, which is not going to work. Well, there's no bunker there, to be fair, but no, it's not. He turns around.
He's looking to catch some reinforcements here, maybe. That single
was,
sunken
yeah.
does fall. Rhett grouping up again. He knows to expect flanking units here, and medics are just in the perfect position to wall these
Yeah.
Zerglings.
Good one.
Beautiful, beautiful play here from Rhett, and targeting down each one of those individual mutas as well.
Yeah. Yeah. This
Still
is
has
a good
5
one.
Marines alive.
Even if Zerg survives here, he won't even. He'll lose the base. But even if this base stayed, this would have been a terrible position for g0rynich.
There's just no drones. There's never any time to drone. There's really
Right.
the best way I can kind of explain it against
The
Rhett.
reason Red is winning, I think, is that g0rynich is going for a build order that requires you to be of an aggressive mentality, but then he's playing it with the defensive mentality. You know, you have to just mass Mutalisks and just do a lot of damage with Mutas, because the Mutalisks are all you have, you know? And he never really forced the Terran to stay in the base. Like, as soon as Red moved out, g0rynich just retreated. As if he, you know, were playing like a savior, taking on their main style.
Yes, yes. Instead of actually putting some type of, like, I would have liked to see a counter. You know, when Rhett initially moved out, the advantage of mass Ling Muta like this is really just the mobility. He should have been countering, forcing Rhett to, you know, fall back, defend, instead of putting on pressure of his own. Because in a straight up fight, I mean, Marine Medic is just so strong in Muta. It can be very difficult to deal with. I feel like Rhett knows exactly where he's at in this game. No reason to you know, make any rash decisions here. He's just gonna wait for his vessel, wait for a radiate, continue to mass up Marines here, and you know, put the pressure on. If we see a Muta dive, I would 100% guess we're gonna see a big bio counter here from Rhett.
Yeah,
I mean,
we have a 2-base Zerg with a weak economy and no hive on the way versus a Terran who's already in vessels.
exactly.
So,
I mean,
I agree, just play macro, and yeah, he's leaving a few Marines in his base, really dealing with the counterattack decently, well enough.
ooh, a lot of Muta falling there.
Yeah.
Good repairs on those turrets. Vessel coming in as well. I believe he has a radiate, so that will clean these Muta up. Meanwhile,
He's forcing the sunken wall.
yeah,
he's
big
doing it.
push.
I agree
It's
with
just too much bio.
Yeah.
Too much bio. Yeah. GG is called. Wow, very strong game there from Rhett. I feel like that was his best game yet.
Yeah, he really read the situation and reacted properly. I mean, from the beginning, when he just walked out with 10 Marines on Python, with no stim, no medics, and he forced Sunkens, that was great. He completely read his opponent. And then when he was just standing there between the two bases, the National and the Third, and he was just getting more and more Marines, forcing Zerglings, forcing Sunkens, never actually committing, never actually losing anything, never going all in. And then eventually, finally, you do it. Perfect.
Exactly. Like I was, you know, like we were saying, he just knows how to walk that line. He knows how to not overextend, not get his units caught out, but there is constant passive pressure going on. It feels like there's never quite a time to sneak any drones in as a Zerg. There's never quite time to get your hive. It's just annoying, but it's just constant. Yeah.
And then he knows when to go all in, when to just charge with everything.
Yep.
We saw that on Guy, actually. He caught the greed, and that's why he won. He was going to lose that for sure. I mean, there were going to be so many ultimates in like half a minute to a minute.
Alright, so our next map is Fighting Spirit.
This is, I mean, I think the staple map. Like, after Fighting Spirit, it feels like every map senses.
From there.
Yeah, they try to live up to the same amount of balance as Fighting Spirit. Definitely a map that I'm sure both these players have played infinite amount of times. So this is like the quintessential, just super standard map. I wouldn't expect any funny business from either player here.
So anybody wondering, the map pool of the Thelio Showmatch series is the BWG's Weekly 2021 map pool. Voddy, could you say a few things about BWG's Weekly for people who don't know what that is?
Oh yeah, actually it's a weekly tournament. Everybody should go play it, really. Go to Team Weekly and search for G's Weekly in the tournament section. And essentially, it's a weekly tournament, best of one all the way. You win some money if you win. Top 3 actually get money. And it has a different map every week. So there's been Dolly of Jungle, there's been Gaia, etc. So you play the entire tournament on one map. And yeah, pretty much everybody should go play in it.
Here you have it, man. Big shout out to Russ Brain and Esport Fun for organizing
Can't play the game, by
BWG's
the way,
Weekly.
So you can start. Love it.
All right, let's get into it.
So yeah, Fighting Spirit. Good map for g0rynich, I suppose. Man, what was the deal with taking that open third base and not a new main on Python? Luckily on this map, no matter which base he takes, it'll have a ramp.
I mean, I was thinking that too last game, but where would the ideal base be? 6 o'clock?
6 or 12, yeah, sure.
I mean, 6 you're worried about close, drop positions. 12 o'clock, just the distance between Rhett's natural and 12 o'clock is, just exceptionally short. Right. So all that pressure he was putting on that third bottom right would have felt like tenfold, especially since there was no lurkers in play either.
Yeah, he was going to just deal with it with pure Mutalisk and go straight to Hive. That was the plan, I guess. But he wasn't aggressive enough with the Mutalisks to go for that.
Agreed. There just wasn't any countering going. I agree. I think maybe 6 o'clock would have been the better play, especially if he's going that really heavy pure Muta style anyway. The Muta are kind of better at dealing with drops than anything else. And really, if there's one thing you can say about Rhett, it's like he's just so standard textbook that you can almost bet money it's going to always be vessel over dropship anytime.
Yeah, sometimes people actually go for only 1 vessel, 2 vessels, or 0 vessels, and they go for like a huge all-in YOLO drop. Rhett, I would not expect that. I agree.
No, Rhett's always been very confident in his own play. He doesn't seem to feel like he needs to cut any corners in order to, beat even very competitive players like g0rynich. He's just going to play his build out one way or another, win or lose, and just play it to the best of his ability. And yeah, I mean we've pretty much seen the same style, same builds, regardless of map so far from him every single game.
So on TVZ, I see a situation where a bunch of mutas are in your base, fucking shit up, destroying turrets, and then Terran sort of moves out with the Marines. What do you do as Zerg? Do you keep fucking shit up with your mutas, or do you go back? Because g0rynich decided to go back.
You can do either. It depends. Like, if you... Essentially, okay, one thing you can do is just expand in 2 directions and let him destroy your export. Like, I don't care. I'm damaging you more than you're damaging me. Like, you're taking out a hatchery that has no drones at it. I'm taking out a lot of stuff, and I'm expanding somewhere else at the same time. Anyway, so that's one way to do it. Of course, you can play the Savior style, where you keep destroying stuff in the base, but then you retreat in time to defend. If you're actually planning on keeping your base, if you need that third base. And,
exactly. I'd have to say if there was a more standard way to play, it would be you need to retreat, like at a certain point, just to hold that third gas base. But that's why it's so like touch and go with Muta against Terran. Like you can fuck shit up, but you need to know exactly where that line is. That okay, it's time to back up.
And that's huge because now he has to go 3-hatch. He has to go.
He was planning on it before. Okay. Actually, he had 13 pool.
So
and actually,
delays take a little bit.
Yeah. We see the third hatchery going up top right. I like this from g0rynich. Rhett, though, not seeing a third hatchery in the main, he's going to know exactly what's up. Like, that's the one thing. Being a Zerg player like Rhett, he's going to sniff out anything funky going on early here. You're not going to catch him off guard.
The third hatchery at the third base versus Terran is a thing. And he should be expecting that, most likely. Especially if he gets inside with another SV and he sees that there's no lair yet. Well, he saw the late gas actually, so he knows already.
Yeah, he should know what's going on here. We'd still see the lair going down inside the main of g0rynich. Rhett seems, pretty content with just building from his 2 barracks here. I believe there's an academy going down bottom left.
Brooks Academy again.
So it'll be a very standard 2x academy opener. And look, we see
again.
that SCV scout the hatchery and confirm.
Very good friend. So
Perfect
now he
scout.
knows exactly what it's up against, and the early academy is useful here because Zerg has to sunken up 2 spots or make a lot of Zerglings. So if you go out with like a few firebats and a medic with you, and you cover your base against counterattacks, it can really hurt the Zerg a lot. You shouldn't take the base out, but you can at least force a bunch of sunkens or an obscene Zerglings.
We see a big speedling swell here from g0rynich. I think we're finally seeing the deviation of g0rynich. He says, you know what? I've been playing standard here. Hasn't been really working out as well as I'd like.
He is playing like g0rynich is making drones only. This army can get so crushed.
I think it will.
It's interesting because when Zerg takes a third base like this, they usually go for a lot of speedlings. And Ret really is not respecting that enough, perhaps. He has no firebat here. Okay, he has 2 firebats coming, actually. But he could die to the counterattack, which isn't coming, granted, so I suppose that's the correct decision.
Yeah, he definitely could. Ooh, firebat's moving
He's stimming in! Is this really the right choice?
This is not the right read. No. He doesn't see any lings. He doesn't realize what's about to hit from behind.
How greedy does he think his opponent is to think this could work? Taking a third base and not making lings? Firebat's helping out, though.
Firebat helping out so much. Yeah. 12 kills going down on that Firebat. Just it was in the perfect position. I mean, every Zergling lined up. I feel like he was hitting 6 Zerglings per shot. How? How did he make that happen? I was right there with you, Voddy. I was like, okay. g0rynich finally wins one.
Why didn't he wait like literally 2 seconds for the Firebats to catch up? Why not? It still worked though, so good job.
Yeah,
but dude, imagine those Zerglings cutting off the Firebats first, cutting off reinforcements, then surrounding the Marines. Like, it could have gone very different. It really could have.
It absolutely could have. I mean, if g0rynich got a big surround there, you know, if the Zerglings were just in a little closer and were able to work with that sunken, there's no way this pressure works. No way.
You know how Red is playing? You know what he's saying to me? He's saying, like, I'm a better player. Like, there's some holes in my play, but you know what? I'm just gonna, like, throw a bunch of shit in your face. And you're not gonna deal with it. Yeah, see the chat.
Are you crazy? Oh,
yeah.
He knows. He knows how lucky you got. Jumped without
Yeah, he just
scout.
went for it. He just went for it. Against a build order that always makes a lot of Zerglings. And he didn't even wait for his 2 firebats. And he had no defense against a counterattack. It's like, mind blown. Insanity.
Yeah, I mean, obviously frustrating g0rynich a little bit here. I mean, I don't blame him. That was kind of an odd timing, just deciding to dive in there, especially with the third base. I don't know, Rhett I guess he just felt confident. He was feeling it.
Yeah, he was feeling that for sure. I agree with going out with like two firebats, 10 Marines, and a medic. Like, that's good against this build, because it forces Zerglings and it forces Sunkens. But then you have to be ready for the Zerglings, right? You have to expect them and fight them.
g0rynich is going to see another big bio ball moving out here from Rhett. I mean, I don't know how he's going to hold this one.
Yeah, just keep attacking Zerg so he can never make drones. That's it. When you spam SCVs, that's what it's doing. And it's so strong, especially once you get ahead. Just keep doing it to get more ahead. But imagine those firebats being with the army, him waiting for them. He would have won the game already, that attack up to possibly, the way it went. Because it almost would work without that, you know?
Beautiful focusing there from Rhett, just targeting down each of those individual muta. He's got 5.
Off. Very smart. Preserve the medics, reinforce with more units. Although g0rynich might not let him.
Yeah, he might get 2 medics here for free. Nice pickup from g0rynich.
Oh, I don't feel disgusting.
Does lose a muta for it, though. Meanwhile, once again, Rhett just making his way to vessels. Second starport finally added. This is more of a Rhett opener here. He loves his 2 starport vessel play. He's just going to allow the vessel count to stack up, and really it's very difficult for Zerg to deal with, especially if you're playing you know, such a late hive heavy muta opener like g0rynich really has to.
Yeah, he's so behind. He lost a bunch of drones there. He has a third base, but no way to defend it. No lurkers, no Sunkens.
Yeah, he's had this third forever. He's got to use nothing but muta to defend. I mean, ooh, just look at that reaction time. Just the
Yeah.
second they come in vision, stim, single target, and g0rynich needs to back up. He's he's got 5 health Muta now.
Great reaction, great awareness. Low APM, but he's spending it where it matters. He's always at the army when he needs to be. And he's actually faking being AFK, like not being with the army, but then he's actually there. Like, is he gonna do it again?
Or he will.
Or
He's
is it-
baiting him.
You
That was a
never
yeah,
know if
exactly.
it's or not.
Trust me, it's so true. He's very frustrating to play against. Like, here we go.
Is he there? Is he there? I mean, g0rynich doesn't know. He doesn't dare.
He wants him to go in.
I bet Red is watching this army. Yep.
Yeah,
he's ready.
100%. He's watching it.
flinched. He should have kept faking it.
I love how he's circling around him like a shark.
Yeah, he is.
But notice Rhett is just held position in the tightest clump. He
Yeah,
doesn't allow
amazing.
any stray marines. He really wants g0rynich to attack it.
He had a phalanx formation, like a hedgehog. It's like,
Yes.
come at me. How dare you? I'm AFK. Like,
Ooh, big stem. Once again, good catch on those marines from g0rynich. I feel like Rhett needs to just get this irradiate. Yeah.
He
Oof.
might kill his enemy here. There are no sunk. Well, there's only one sunk and no lurkers. That should be it.
Big irradiate there. Lurker's just not quite in time.
Red
Good
is just going
reinforcement.
full ham, like insane. I don't care. No GG.
No GG. Oh, wow.
Well, okay, honestly. So, that game was crazy. Like, think about this. He goes for a build order that always has mass links. Red is like out of the map with like no medics, no stim. Like, what are you doing? Holy shit. Then he charges it like it's like a 2-H Muta, pre-sunken timing, when he has fire bats coming in and he doesn't wait for them. And it works. Like, what is this game?
Yeah, I would be pretty frustrated with that call too. He
just has so
scouted the
much
third
time.
early. He had to have assumed that g0rynich had a heavy ling force somewhere, and he just, sometimes that's just how it goes. Like the cards just go in your favor.
Fortune favors the bold and the confident, apparently.
Yep. And Rhett's got some confidence. Man, 4-0 to start this series. I didn't expect this, even from Rhett. But very strong showing so far at almost the halfway point.
Yeah,
series.
almost. If he wins one more, he, quote unquote, wins the set, so to speak. But he either naturally counters his opponent in style, or he knows his opponent's mentality, and he's abusing it, exploiting it.
Yeah, I think this is actually just how he plays. Like, yeah.
Okay.
He's usually very aggressive when he knows he can kind of get away with it, but he just knows where to walk that line.
All right, so the next map is Tau Cross, made by Rose of Dream, who also made Fighting Spirit.
And Python, right? And Gaia, interestingly.
Wow, it's like all his maps. This whole show match just be
The Rose of
Rose
Dream
of
show
Dream show match.
Yeah, map maker showcase right here throughout the ages. But this map was the most balanced map of all time. 50% in every matchup in 2006 to 7. But today, I think this map is pretty good for Zerg against Protoss. So I don't think those stats are really representative anymore. I do think
Agreed.
Ret will be fine on it though.
Especially for this matchup, like you said. When you expect, oh man.
Yeah, Ret just does whatever. He doesn't care. Yeah, that's right. He's like, I'm just gonna go over here. Like, he's like, if they were fighting like in MMA or martial arts, Ret would just be like, just throwing these crazy like 720 Taekwondo kicks, like no fear, just whatever he wants.
Sweep the leg.
Yeah.
Oh man, too funny. Yeah, it's so true though. He really is just implementing his will here. It feels like, but Tau Cross, I think a good map for Zerg against Terran. It's probably relatively balanced, but
It's fine, really.
I'd say the peaks are that Muta control can be very devastating on this map, especially the area between main and natural.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's very difficult for Terrans to kind of hold that, prevent them from losing early bio force, early on. Marines and medics walking to that natural. So this could be good for g0rynich.
And of course, late game he wins by default because he takes another main, which isn't as big of an issue for Terran as it is for Protoss. And also the big main that you can Doom drop is more of a Zerg versus Protoss thing too. So Terran can definitely fight on this map, and I think honestly today, if Korean pros were playing this, it would be at around 50%. It might even still be like 51% TVC. Seriously.
Yeah, I 100% agree. This was one of my favorites of all time back in the day. If I, was down a set in WCG, you could bet I'd be picking this map. Just always been one of my favorites. That's why I was glad to see they brought it back for BSL this season.
Yeah, it's a good map. It's fine, really. I have no complaints. So, 2H muted this time, not 3H, like Lost, versus 1Rex expand again.
I mean, I'm not surprised. g0rynich seems, to really favor this build, this opening. I don't think he expects anything different from Rhett from what we've seen. But really, I'd like to kind of see him take some risks, maybe, and see how he can cut corners, take some edges. This definitely isn't the map to mass speedling, but maybe doing a 3-hatch before pool opener. Yeah.
Fighting Spirit isn't a particularly good speeding map either, but he made the speedlings, but then he failed with the ambush, He didn't really use them correctly. It would have worked for sure, though. It could have worked.
It could have worked. It absolutely could have.
And that was one good adjustment. You were talking about making adjustments now, taking risks. The choice was good, but the execution couldn't be...
Just fell a bit short, yeah. But you're right. You are right. He is making adjustments.
I mean, did you see how cavalier he was being with those Marines early on?
Yeah, he did.
If he had just A-moved everything there, he would have won the game right there with feelings.
Absolutely. Especially, the point where Rhett had just 8 Marines sitting outside the natural. Outside?
On the bridge? What?
I was shocked.
Crazy.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah. That's not typical Rhett play.
Well, Rhett's just feeling really confident. Like he can... like the Zerg is a punching bag,
I mean,
that's what
he's
feeling,
up.
Probably.
He's up 4-0 right now, so it's looking good. Yeah.
But g0rynich really, he really has what it takes to beat Rhett. On Gaia, he just needed 2 more lurkers. He would have won otherwise. On Fighting Spirit, he had the right strat. He had the units. He really has what it takes. I hope he's not too tilted right now.
I feel like this is a very quick second gas from g0rynich. I don't know what this is. This feels a little too fast.
Well, it's gonna make him mutisks, I suppose. I have to assume that's it. Could be like a mass mute or non-stop mute rally. Because look at the positioning. If you are in the main and Terran tries to counterattack, you can stay in the main and beat back in time to defend very easily.
Very true. Very true. I didn't take that in consideration with these positions, but yeah, I mean, I would have to guess you're right. This must be just mass muta. Usually with mass muta, you like to go. I see a lot of Zergs go +1 attack,
right?
Instead of armor, and they're looking to trade. There will be no hive anytime soon. There will be no lurkers. I'm sure we'll see this third base going up momentarily. And yes, g0rynich is sending that drone to top right, which I love. I love that positioning.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, Voddy, you've called it. This is probably for a mass muta play.
It would work for sure. He doesn't have to do it, but it would be strong. He's taking a third hatchery before Mutalisk, so he won't have that 6 Mutalisk explosion. He's opting instead to get a slightly earlier hatchery.
Which I think pays off in the long run here. I like
Actually, no. Never mind. He had the money. I am just kind of stupid.
He's got it timed out perfectly.
Yeah. All right.
Ooh, I love the move command into the Zerglings and then the attack. Very nice.
Yes, they all shoot at once,
Yeah.
So forcing a sunken, and then not doing any more than that. Just threatening.
Ooh,
Not part of the Cavalier now.
Does go down in the main. So this was just a little bit of a quicker gas. We'll see where it gets. Yeah, I mean, he's already kind of spending it, so I guess maybe it is a little more standard. But and Rhett actually backing off into the main. He's definitely afraid of these early muta.
Yeah, a lot of times Terran will, fight the Mutalisks out on the map. and then get turrets later on. But he's just going back in to defend immediately.
Maybe because these turrets seem a little late. Maybe he's just doesn't quite have his range, doesn't quite feel confident to be on the map yet, but as soon as he gets a few turrets up, I'd expect to start seeing some pressure.
Yeah, many Terrans want to avoid fighting until they get range on the Marines. That's a common idea, but we have Lurker aspect coming, so this is looking like another comfortable g0rynich game, where everything's going fine, you're getting your bases up, and then hopefully, this time you don't just die to something. Exactly. That's TBC though, everything's fine and then Terran just kills you. Because you made a mistake.
So true. One mistake, 2 unburrowed lurkers, not quite forgetting to research consume. It's happened to me countless times. It's just how it goes. But really good control here from g0rynich so far, picking off a Marine, a turret. Really, what he's really forcing is this bio has to sit back right now.
Yeah. He will have so many lurkers by the time Red leaves his base. He will be so safe. Very comfortable game so far, g0rynich.
Rhett trying to move to the natural, but these turrets aren't quite done yet. Ooh, he does defend it though. Man, I don't know how he does it. Just seems to always be in the right place. g0rynich though, getting a couple picks. It looks like another turret will go down once again. Rhett starting to just say, screw it, I'm gonna go attack, I guess, though. So
but lurkers are on the way. I don't even think he has to leave with these Mutalisks necessarily.
So we saw this last game too. g0rynich just sort of backs off and Red heads to his base.
Okay, the reason he left is that he doesn't have any lurkers on the third. And he's not willing to play the style where you sacrifice your third. Which, to be fair, first of all, isn't his style, what he likes to do. And secondly, isn't as good on this map, because that's what you do on 4-player maps, where you try to expand in 2 directions. Terran can only kill 1, and you get his main, if he goes for that. But you can't really do that here. There's only 1 place to expand. So he wants to defend it instead.
I think it's the right call here, especially after the previous games. Why try to cut any corners? He knows Rhett's gonna be putting pressure on here.
Muta's flying.
Pick off on a Muta.
So now the lurkers are up, and at this point he could go harass the main again with the Mutalisks for vessels.
Maybe. I think he might need to use the Muta to defend this third. There's
only
only 2 lurkers here.
Do we know how many? Only 2?
Only 2 at the moment.
Yeah, then he needs the help, for sure.
Yeah, this is a lot of bio here from Rhett. At least 2-3 groups of Marine medic. Ooh, Rhett stimming! Looking like he might go in here, and the Mutas arrive just in time. Ooh!
Yeah, good thing he... Oh no! Did you see those spines?
Oh
Dude,
my goodness.
Rhett sent in 1 decoy Marine at the front, and g0rynich wasn't looking, so he shot at the wrong Marine. And Slayer's boxer, Rhett, just walked in.
Wow, very just beautiful control and timing.
The confidence. He's like, nah, you're not gonna be there. I know you're not looking. I'm gonna go for it. He just goes for it, no fear. Does not care
whatsoever. Ooh, another big scan going down. Picks off the final 2 remaining lurkers. This is just heartbreaking to see for g0rynich. He had the units. It just didn't quite line up. Like you were saying, that lurker spine. Maybe if it had been targeted to the group of Marines would have been enough, but man, Rhett just, I don't know, he just finds these openings.
It's actually similar to when a Protoss is trying to recall a Terran, and he's just like, you're not gonna look right now, I'm going for it. And there's no EMP. That's what he was doing, it's the same thing. There's no way to know, the opponent could be there and then it won't work, but he gambled and it's paid off. And it's paid off every single game. He's done this in so many of these games.
Every single game. We do have g0rynich somehow stabilizing after that. Bravo.
He's alive, yeah, but that was so worth it for Rhett.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Rhett, unquestionably with the 40 supply lead at the moment. But g0rynich does have a third gas. He's got a Nidus. He's got a Defiler Mound. Greater Spire even. I guess he wanted the Muta.
Oh, but all the Mutas died. Rip the dream.
Yeah.
Damn, that's rough.
A little unfortunate, but in a playable position.
Playable still, yeah, he can definitely win from here. Especially considering on this map, it's a 3 map. He will win eventually. If he can just survive long enough, he will win. Almost all the time. Not every time, but usually. But man, imagine had he been there, ready to micro. 2 dropped it, by the way, interesting. Very good because he took out all the Mutalisks, by the way. But anyway, continuing on that. Had he defended that with micro being there, then he would have had Guardians over the cliff. These dropships wouldn't have been able to do anything. Would have been a very different game. But it's still playable if he catches these dropships. But given Rhett's, I don't know, like not luck, but just, you know, like his, whatever it is, his flow, he's probably going to get these units in.
I think there's no Scourge on the map. He's absolutely going to get him in. This, I was going to say, I forgot to mention, but Tower Cross is notoriously a difficult map to defend drops.
Yeah. But there were no Overlord rings anywhere. He does not have any Overlords, you know, to scout. He's been so busy just fighting for his life. He never did it.
There's just so much pressure. Just so much pressure here from Rhett. Spawning pool falls before Adrenaline Glands
he's attacking at the front at the same time.
Oh no! He's gonna pick off those Gorge. Yep, the front's dead as well.
Wow.
LOL, GG is called.
We saw dropships before vessels that game, which we didn't really expect from Rhett, you know, Mr. Standard.
Yeah, he doesn't do that very often. I know he does do it from time to time, but that was maybe a little bit of an adjustment there from Rhett. Like I was mentioning, that map in particular, there's just so much fuel to play to really defend against drops. He didn't need to drop them directly on the main like that. He could have just dropped them along the outskirts and then stim them in. Especially, like you called it, there's no Overlord scout throughout that main from g0rynich. And I mean, to be fair, it's a lot of area to cover.
Yeah, it is. But he had the Overlords. He did.
But once again, just such strong play there from Rhett.
Guys, just to give viewers who aren't familiar with these players an idea of their skill level, like Gory, what would you say his MMR is around?
Oh, he's like mid to low S, so like 2500, 2400 for sure, like mid S. And you know, good enough to win like some weekly tournaments for sure. I think he took out the vault, like we said. So he's like, you know, like an A tier player, S rank on the ladder, of course, but like A tier. And Rhett, back in the day, actually went to Korea, like actually was like on a pro team for real.
Yes.
So obviously like wanted to go to non-Koreans. How good he is now depends on, you know, how much he's been practicing. So
he, I could tell you this, Rhett intentionally does not ladder. He finds ladder boring. So he's never since Remastered has gotten back really run up and tried to see what type of MMR he can hit. But I could tell you, I'd very confidently say he can hit 23, 2400.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Maybe more, but for sure that.
He also doesn't like laddering because obviously he's a race picker, so getting Zerg and playing ZVZ all day is not his favorite way to play.
Yeah. It's not.
Alright guys, the next map is
Ride of Valkyries. Interesting.
Oh wow.
Going back in time.
This is a old school map.
It's still playable though. It seems decently balanced.
Not a ton of distance between naturals, it always felt like on this map. But plenty of neutral air for Zerg to really confidently scout everything out with Overlords. That's one thing I'll say is g 0rynich should have great vision on this map of everything that's going on. But yeah, you know, not anything super notable about it. You know, there's an island map between their mains, which almost never gets taken in any matchup. The natural, you know, relatively small entrance, you know, that's pretty easily defended for just about every race. Close mineral only. I'd expect g 0rynich to actually expand to the top right base, which has a gas.
Yeah, I agree. Now, if you try to play standard, this seems like a slightly Terran-favored map versus Zerg, because the fourth gas isn't that easy to take. But if you adjust and you play on this map, Hydra Lurker drops and taking the island would be very strong. Whenever the Terran goes out, you drop his main. Don't think we'll see that though. I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like g 0rynich play, but I'd love to see it.
I don't know if you have to Hydra Lurker build, because you have to know that style to be able to just whip it out, you know? And not everybody even has a Hydra Lurker.
Yeah. I mean, Hydra Lurker is so difficult to play the higher and higher levels because of players like Rhett that have such impeccable Marine control that anytime you unburrow the lurkers,
Yeah.
you know, he will just target down a lurker every single
yeah.
time. It's so frustrating,
For
but
sure.
it can be done. Absolutely.
Yeah,
can
at the
be done.
highest level, we saw, what was it, Light lost to Soma on match point, where Soma went in like a few aces.
What? I need to go back and watch that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 aces ago, in like top 8 or something. I mean, sort of like spoiling the game or whatever. But
No,
yeah.
no, it's fine. I need to check it out, actually. That's
Yeah, if you
that's
want to learn
really
Hydro Lurker,
interesting.
that's an interesting game to look at, for sure.
Yeah, I used to play a little Hydro Lurker myself, but ever since July Zerg came about, I was like, Mutalisks look like too much fun.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hydro Lurker is good. It has a reputation for being bad because, like, in beginners who don't understand StarCraft and would rather just play Command and Conquer, try to force that by going Hydro Lurk. So you see all these like bad players go Hydro Lurk, but it's actually good if a good player goes for it. You can actually do it.
You absolutely can. It's very true. It has good timings, I'll say that. Transitioning out of Hydro Lurker is really where it starts getting kind of dangerous. If you miss some windows and they gather up too many siege tanks or
and you don't have the
too
finders
yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's where the drops come into play, to buy you time. When he walks out, you counterattack, you know? And,
I see. Okay.
Or just counterattacks in general, but drops are one way of doing it. And then once you get like the finders, you just counter SK Terran so hard. Because he can't go forward without getting plagued, you know? And then when he's plagued, he can't approach the Hydras. It's very strong.
I actually wasn't really watching the g0rynich's opener. Was this an 11 pool, I think?
Oh, yeah, was it hatch first? That's the question.
It wasn't. I don't think it was hatch first. I think this was 11 pool.
So it's like the really fast 2-hatch, you're saying? The fastest possible muta.
Yes, exactly. I think this is going to be very, very quick muta here. You know, it's only like 30 seconds difference, but it can mean all the difference in this matchup here. Rhett's really going to need to make sure he prepares.
Yeah. Also on this map, I don't really believe in counterattacking when the Zerg is in your main, although g0rynich seems to not want to stay when the Terran goes out. But in general, on this map, if you're gonna play the style where you don't respond to the counterattack, this is a great map for it, and this is a great build for it, getting Mutalisks this early.
So Spire is down very quick, 4-minute mark. This is really good play here so far from g0rynich. Nice adjustment. Meanwhile, 2 racks, Academy, he's got his command center, he's got his bunker, just no deviation from Rhett.
Yeah, so far, 2 racks Academy again, which is actually like, it fell out of the meta, and now it's all the rage again with the kids these days, interestingly.
Pick up on an early Marine there from g0rynich once again. I mean, he definitely wins these early game. Ooh, close. 25 HP left on that Marine. Or SCV. Oh, going for another one even. Wow. g0rynich getting bold.
Now, the hard counter to a Terran counterattacking you when you're in his main is to just make a lot of sunken colonies and stay. If you know that he likes to do that, you can go for that, and he can win you games. And we see 1 sunken already.
Yeah, he seems like he's very prepared for this. Very good. Actually, even third base going down here at the top right from g0rynich, so pretty standard play so far. Rhett moving out with an SCV and some Marines.
This could be... oh, it's a scout, okay. Well, what we have seen sometimes is that you actually make a bunker at the third base, so that by the time the Mutalisks show up, he can't actually kill you, because you're in a bunker. Which would have worked here to the top right base. But instead he's going to scout, and this essentially confirms Mutalisks to him. Because he sees the eggs, you know? He sees no lurker eggs, no hydras anywhere. So he knows it's Mutalisk right now.
Ooh, the latest, I didn't realize, but eBay is way too late here from Rhett. This will absolutely be damage from g0rynich.
So he's resorting to building a bunker instead of a turret.
I think that was a mistake. I think he just forgot his bunker.
He's EB, I mean, yeah, for sure.
Oh, will he get Marines to it in time?
One
Looks
Marine
like he will.
Yeah.
2, 3. And then, where's the bio going? Where are these Muta going is a better question. Looks like he's going up and around to start harassing
Barracks.
the barracks. Oh, but the Muta get targeted right away.
Oh.
Red just happened to be in the right place at the right time once again.
Did he actually kill a Mutalisk off camera?
I don't think he did, no. Well, I didn't notice it either way.
Okay, good. All right.
I think I think he's kept them all alive so far. 9 Muta now the total. But once again, Hydroden down, Lurker being researched, third base up for g0rynich. No Muta upgrades once again this game. Looks like he just wants to play another standard macro ZVT.
Yeah, this is a small map, so you could actually just macro the Zerg to death on this map without ever transitioning to mech. This is a good map for it. The island map also, of course, helps with the battle cruisers, which is the bio late game.
Look at these Marines just always in the right position here.
Yeah, he's so ready. The bunker's pretty good too. Very strong.
That range on it. I was surprised he was able to hit the
Oh
Muta
my
from so far.
Kills a Mutalisk. He's chasing the Zerg out of his base.
Very good. Very good play there from Rhett. Picking up that Muta. I mean, it's a little edge. Yeah, it's a little edge there. Just picking off that single Muta doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it starts to snowball.
Yeah, really, if you're playing bio purely, it's really a gas war of attrition. You're trying to destroy gas without losing gas. And if you can destroy gas without spending any gas yourself, that's just amazing.
I like the way you put that. Destroying gas without trading any gas for yourself. That's absolutely why Marines can just be so efficient. I mean, any trade he gets here is for 100 Vespian gas. That's like half a vessel.
Mutalisk almost goes down.
Very close. But this is once again where we just build this confidence. You know, he's just going to impose himself around the map here. I mean, g0rynich has lurkers in position. He's got the sunkens he needs. He's got enough Muta to hold. The question is, will he?
Will something happen again that just kills him, you know? Will he get Terran, essentially?
Ooh, I like these 3 lurkers by g0rynich in the middle right, between the natural and third.
That's good.
Could be a good spot to catch him off guard, off guard.
But you know, he could be even more aggressive. He's just not in that mentality. He's a little bit on the back foot mentally, you know? Like, say they were even further forth. They would have been even better, right? And he could be there. Like, he could be checking with the Mutalisk, seeing where the Marines are, and then advancing as far as he can with the lurkers. But instead, he's in this defensive mindset, you know?
Very true. Very, very true. Greater Spire going down once again. Defiler Mound as well.
Mutalisk dies.
g0rynich trying to get something done with these Muta. They're pulling... I mean, he's pulling Red apart here a little bit, which I like, but...
Buying time, yeah.
Yeah. He wants to keep these Muta alive with that Greater Spire, or they're not going to get any use once again. Just like the Tau Cross game. If these Mutas die, I mean, why spend the money on the Greater Spire then?
So the next base for g0rynich... Actually, where is the gas on this base, this map? Oh yeah, it's beneath the top right. Sure. So once he has enough lurkers, he can go take that as a fourth. But that's so open. That's really going to get attacked by bio.
I mean, even the top right base has a secondary entrance that you can get to. Can
that's
be
true.
open. I'm a little worried. There's not even a single lurker up there, but I guess you know, g0rynich has been keeping good tabs on this bio force, so I'd like to see an Overlord in the middle. I
completely agree. Yeah,
area.
for sure.
I mean, he would see this entire bioforce moving across the map here, but right now he doesn't really seem to have vision. He's got the lurkers set up though, so I don't expect any damage to get done, but just little things.
In fact, g0rynich could have overlords not at his cliff, but at Rhett's cliff too, to really see those dropships coming. And as you say, at the 6 o'clock, at the edge of that cliff, he really could be more aggressive with his overlords.
Well, we have Guardians being morphed outside of the natural of Rhett, so there will be some counter pressure. Oh! Lurkers on hold position! Oh, he almost should have kept him off hold position.
That's actually good for Rhett. I'm serious. But damn, dude, that could have been a disaster for either player.
It really could have.
If either player had been looking, the other player would have gotten smashed right there.
Good Nidus play. Swarm does go down. This third will not fall. Beautiful play here from g0rynich. That should buy him time to get these Guardians moving in.
Right.
Oh! moving forward once again with another swarm. Very
Keeping
nice.
Terran busy, thinking this is the name of the game, but actually, Doom is above his natural. He needs to send these Guardians in now, as soon as possible.
Yep, it needs to send the Guardians in, and he needs some Scourge to follow this up, or they could fall to a couple, like, Erasers, basically.
Yeah,
oh, but he has Devourer.
Yeah, Devourers are good, like good anti-Wraith, but they're really not good anti-Racer. So some Scourge too would help.
Wow, Bunker does fall. Bought him a little bit of time, but these Guardians are, I mean, finally starting to do some very good damage. Irradiate will fall on one of the Guardians, which is prompting the Devourers to move in here. Devourers, though, getting a little out of position. They're taking some turret shots. Not a good use of these Devourers. Only 2 Guardians left.
Oh, it's because he's busy at his natural. He needs a swarm to stay alive.
But he gets that swarm down. Beautiful swarm there from g0rynich. Only a single Guardian remaining, though, but I feel like the damage is done. Rhett's got a 3rd base. It's a mineral only, but with that 2nd gas falling, that's really going to hinder his vessel count.
Yeah, it sure is, but the 4th base really is the quest here for g0rynich, and he's taking it at 12 o'clock instead. Now, 12 o'clock does have a gas, so if this base comes up, he will be in a very good position.
Oh no!
He's getting Terran again. He wasn't ready. He's going into the Nidus Canal.
He does have another Defiler. Yeah, Swarm does go down in time. Very nicely done. You know, that could have been a game ender.
For sure. That happened on Gaia. It happened on, I don't even know how many games.
Yeah.
Just like that.
It's just so tough when you have a player in your face the whole time, putting so much pressure on, you know?
It really is, yeah. Oh, and it's going to prevent 12 o'clock from getting scouted with these Zerglings, which will also deny the base at the top left. Very good play right now, so... This is where... Oh, natural attack, by the way. Does he have a swarm? Does he need
I don't think he does. I don't think he does. I think he's gonna need one here. There is an Ultra coming out, but it's not enough. There's just so much bio.
Yeah, he really wants a swarm here, but there's no Defiler.
He does have a couple Ultras, but they don't...
Oh, no.
Don't have the upgrades. These Lurkers just need to be positioned a little closer.
Yeah, but he can still...
Oh, he's got Swarm now.
Here comes a Defiler, but it has no energy. Oh, dude, okay.
Epic hold. Epic hold.
He died! The Lurker died.
Oh no! I didn't realize the Lurker was irradiated.
He died like the flame before the Rock Storm came up, and the reinforcements are gonna close it out.
Oh my goodness, this could be the end. I can't believe it. Oh, but big counterattack going down from g0rynich at that mineral only. The command center might even fall to these Zerglings. But there's just nothing at this natural.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, g0rynich forced to retreat from his own natural. Boy, what can you say? This is just heartbreaking. GG is called from g0rynich.
Yeah, really to sum up how these games are going, like, Rhett is just, he's just confident, he's just gonna be a whirlwind tornado, and if you theoretically play perfectly, then you survive, and then you start moving units everywhere, you get 4 gas ultra, you win. He doesn't really have, like, a solution that he's shown to that, but he just knows you're going to make a mistake. Eventually you make a mistake, and then I'll kill you for it. That's his plan.
It's true, he's just poking and prodding.
Over and over, until there's a mistake.
Yep, he doesn't stop. You know, he would attack top right, and g0rynich would get that swarm down with the Defiler just in time, and he'd immediately book it straight for his natural and say, all right, you're going to need to defend here now. And then he'd do that, and then he'd, you know, move top right again, and he's just, eventually he's one step ahead. Oh my goodness, Rush Hour 3. I haven't seen this map in forever. This is going to be a cool one.
Yeah, this has to be a map that neither player is comfortable on given their styles, because one Rax expand on this map versus like a bunch of speedlings, like have fun, and then a Zerg, sunken colonies are, you know, not
useless.
like
just useless.
Look at this natural. It's rough.
It is so open, and just the pathways that lead to each of the naturals, kind of. I mean, the flow that it causes is the opponent will always come from a polar opposite angle. Like, it's really, really difficult to hold your natural on this map. I'd like to see a 9-pool even opener here from g0rynich. Hope hope that Rhett does get greedy and go for that 1-Rax expand on a map like
without
this.
double scouting, right? Because if you
Yeah.
don't double scout with SCVs, if you don't scout, or essentially if you don't scout the Zerg first, and you don't send another SCV, and there's a 9 pool, that's very good for Zerg. He will probably win there. So that, given how confident and cavalier Rhett is, that could work.
Yep. Oh, nothing out of the... Oh! I think this is a 9 pool. I think g0rynich is listening to me here. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not, depending on how this series has gone on here. If he's able to defend, or if Rhett does go for some type of a greedy 1-Rax opener, it could be devastating. It really could be. And barracks going down for Rhett inside the main here.
Will he scout it is the question, essentially. And will he be greedy and take a risk? But there's a chance that he isn't greedy and scouts it anyway because he scouts it first. Which it looks like, unfortunately, for g0rynich, he's doing. Scouting it first, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a little bit of unfortunate positioning there. It will be a little frustrating for g0rynich to get scouted immediately from Rhett. I don't expect this to be able to do much damage if that's the case. Drone scout going out. Oh, no, it looks like it will be a natural scout. Ooh, Rhett able to try to block that, but Rhett knows there should be a hatchery there right now. What's going on?
Yeah.
And he'll see these Zerglings, and with that, I don't think he's going to be able to get anything done.
Yeah, this is just good for Rhett at this point, if he deals with this properly. Needs to block the ramp, and hopefully not lose any SCVs, but that's hard.
Yeah, 5 SCVs even.
He's sending an
pulled
SCV
here.
in the main to harass the drones while this happens. Trying to tax the multitasking in g0rynich.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing Rhett has, it's definitely multitasking. He's maybe, like you said earlier, not the fastest player, but I mean, 250, 300 APM is not slow by any means.
He has the awareness, like, and that's what really matters the most, not spamming APM.
Exactly.
He was always ready with the... Well, okay, there was this one time, actually, literally one time, when neither player was aware, where Marines walked into hopeless with lurkers. And if either player had been there, he would have smashed the other. But other than that, Rhett was always ready, everywhere.
He, he definitely is a player who preaches about F key usage to me quite a bit, and how essential it is to be able to macro in a split second, but other than that, you are always looking at your army. Always. Like, there cannot be a lapse, especially in this matchup in particular, with Muta versus Marine being so volatile that if either player looks away for even half a second, it could mean the game.
Yeah, for sure. As we've seen, it has meant the game many times here in favor of Rhett.
Cute move out here from Rhett. 4 Marines and an SCV walking into 6 Zerglings, but actually will be pulling back.
You're
Rhett,
right.
Meanwhile,
Forcing a lot of Zerglings.
Yeah, forcing 4 more Zerglings. So, I mean, that's 2 less drones
At this
out
point,
of
though,
g0rynich.
you know the enemy made a bunch of links. You know your natural is open. So he needs a bunker now to survive the counterattack.
He absolutely does. And I think he's moving an SCV to do just that at the natural here.
Yeah, here we go. Very good. Nice.
So, I mean, 6 Marines plus, I mean, that bunker should be able to defend any type of early ling timing here. Spire going down in the main of g0rynich. Once again, a little delayed just from that 9 pool opener, but still in plenty of time to do some damage.
Oh, will
Bunker
there
is
be a run
full.
by?
Ooh,
Not
it
blocking
will
the ramp.
be. Oh no, Rhett getting punished a little bit here for not blocking that ramp. A lot of SCVs being pulled in that main. Ooh,
It's
2,
huge.
3 SCVs going down. Big surround. But actually,
g0rynich
this
needs to recognize what to do after this. Like, non-stop, almost all-in Mutalisk would be way stronger now than normally. Because he's delaying everything. This is huge.
Delaying
Vessels
so
aren't going to show up
much.
for minutes. You know, not even any turrets. Denying so much mining time. This is massive.
And getting out with 4 Zerglings as well. Very well done there from g0rynich.
Yeah, even getting out with 4, yeah. Huge. Okay, maybe I'm overhyping it a little bit. Maybe don't go all in, actually. Not quite, not quite.
Does have a creep colony here at the natural. No medics with this 9 Marine Force. I don't think this is going to work here for Rhett. He definitely can't YOLO this one. And yes, he's actually backing up. It was just that passive pressure once again.
Yeah, make a sunken, you know.
Ooh, looks like the SCV will fall in the main of g0rynich. And actually, I mean, g0rynich, more so than any other game we've seen so far, has put himself in a beautiful position this game.
Yeah, that run by really helped him out.
The run by was huge. He's only down by only 5 workers as well, which is not standard at this point in the game for this matchup. I feel like Rhett's on the back foot.
That was insane. He was actually even on workers for a while. Anyway, here come the first Mutalisks, and we don't have... What do we have in the main? Do we have a lot of defense?
1 turret completing, second one on the way.
The Marines are out of position, so this could be huge.
Absolutely. g0rynich, also a player to jump on any opportunity, does end up picking off a couple SCVs there, delaying that 3rd barracks, and really pulling these Marines around the map. Oof.
A little bit more passive than he could have been with these Mutalisks when he had the chance. You know, if there's only 1 turret protecting a mineral line, you can actually ignore it and just pick off SCVs anyway. It's definitely worth it if there are no Marines there. The turrets are really to buy time. I mean, if you only have 1 at least, to buy time for the Marines to arrive.
Exactly. And, they don't do as much damage as you'd expect.
Yeah. He could have certainly destroyed many SCVs in the main base, but he did not do that. Either that, or camp the ramp to kill the Marines as they come up, and camp the barracks. One of those 2 he needed to choose more decisively.
g0rynich also has his own 3rd, coming on the way, bottom left. Hydroden up. I would expect Lurker to be researched any second here.
Mutalisk almost dies.
Oof.
But yeah, he needs... Alright, so these sunken colonies, you might think, well, there are 2 entrances, like, why are they only protecting one side? That's because it would take so much longer for the Marines to go around the other side that he really only has to worry about one side. A lot more than the other.
Yeah, very, very true. I mean, just that travel time alone, and it would also buy so many more opportunities for g0rynich to pick off trailing Marines with these muta that it would be worth it. Yep.
Cut off reinforcements, be annoying, what have you. But good stuff for g0rynich this game. He could have done more damage with the Mutalisks, but overall, strategically, he's in a good spot. Lurkers on the way, 3rd base on the way. He's not that behind in workers. Picking up some units now.
Yeah, nice pickup here with these Marines. Doesn't feel like it's... yeah, he does lose 1. Reinforcements coming in here from Rhett. Just, once again, this passive pressure. He's sitting out on the map here because he doesn't want g0rynich to go into his main.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
If he goes to the main, he can just counter until he gets these Lurkers up.
Right. Yeah, and good. He's already sending some Lurkers to the 3rd base. That's huge. Very good play.
Yeah, absolutely. 4 Lurkers as well. Quite a bit just to defend the 3rd. But I think it's
morphing them actually in the middle of nowhere to have some sneaky counterattack, hold position Lurkers, which I like.
Okay.
You could even counterattack the natural very easily with Lurkers and start destroying the mineral line, even on this map.
He does have 2 bunkers, though. That second bunker at that natural might make that a little difficult to do. Actually, Rhett just moving in again with this Bioforce. I'd like to see some Lurkers on this side of the map right now.
Yeah, 2 of them are on the way to reinforce this. Well, 2 are going to the 3rd base.
Ah, I see. This is the right
Mutalisks. 1 more dies. 2 more Mutalisks.
2 more die. Yeah, not the best here. Ooh, I love this from g0rynich. Actually putting an Overlord over those Lurkers to make them a little more difficult, not only to see, but to click on.
Very good. You don't know how many there are. Difficult to click on. It's just strong. It's very good. It's a recent evolution. It's become like a standard maneuver to do.
Very nice.
One of the latest innovations from the Zerg.
I really don't think that Rhett can get anything done here, and he knows it. He's once again going to be forced to back up. Meanwhile, g0rynich, 4th hatchery on the way. He's already got that 3rd gas up. Nidus going down. I'd expect to see a...
He's charging.
He's
going for
charging in. How's he going in here? What? He will be
Dude,
forced
you know what
to
he could have done? He could have run into the main. That was the one thing he actually could have gone for.
Yeah, those lurkers are out of position for that main. You're absolutely right.
And he was not blocking the main with anything.
Did not quite sense it. He might have been afraid of like a drone drill catching.
I mean, yes,
on the
but
ramp
given how he just like takes risks and just like wings it,
yeah,
I think that would have been good. But anyway, so it's gonna be a macro game, and we don't even have a defiler mound. It just started, so Terran is a little bit ahead on technology. He's going to have a good time. If he can stay alive with every vessel, never waste them, he could deny the 4th for a long time. He's gonna run in. He's going
oh no!
Voddy called it.
We do see the drone drill coming in. Only Marines made it into the main here. So actually, I don't think that paid off here for Rhett, but
yeah,
it was...
You both called it.
The units got stuck. So, yeah.
Gosh, wow.
So for the first time in the set, the shenanigans of Rhett are backfiring.
Exactly. It's not paying off for once. Rhett looking like he wants to take a 3rd here. I think that's what he's doing with this Bioforce. I don't think he expects to be able to move into that main bottom left. He just wants some type of units over here to try to hold this 3rd base, which is very far away from Rhett's natural.
And I have to say, this is a very dominant position now for g0rynich. g0rynich is actually ahead on workers, which is insane, and almost even on food, on control versus supply.
Yeah, absolutely. If Rhett is going to come back in this, two is going to need to happen. He's going to need to hold this 3rd base, and he's really going to need to get some value out of his early vessels.
Yeah, never ever lose a vessel. Every time you have energy, use it. Never float an energy, never waste a vessel, and probably dropships at some point are going to be needed.
I'm telling you, if there's a quality I really hate about playing against Rhett and his plays is vessel retention. Really, he makes it very difficult. You have to earn every single vessel kill you get. He just knows how that damage stacks as a Zerg player. And here we go. First irradiate. Gets the defiler and gets the muta immediately. Nothing
Great
falls.
Radiations. Just great.
Incredible
And
radiations.
hitting the Scourge. That's even more gas down the green.
We do have another defiler coming into play, though. This, really should allow him to hold at this point. Plague is on the way, so pretty soon here, Rhett's going to need to back up if he doesn't, if he's not able to kill off these defilers, just because of that Plague potential.
There's a hidden expansion too at 6 o'clock, which Rhett cannot allow to go up. He will not win if he does not destroy that base.
Swarm going down, pressure coming in from g0rynich outside of his own natural. And actually, another swarm coming up as well. I love this from g0rynich, but once again, defiler being traded.
Yeah.
What did he get for that? He got 2 Marines, and he forced them to eat a bunch of his own Zerglings, and a defiler fell. So
yeah,
good trade.
So far, the radiations have been on point by Rhett. And you need to keep this up to be cost-effective and win a war of gas attrition eventually. But he also needs to deny this base.
You called it, by the way. We see a dropship moving around to the south side of the map.
Oh, that's to get the base, right. Classic thing to do, actually, is when you're attacking at the front, invading and everything, while the dropships hunt expansions. But actually, he might be going for the main base here, the second main of Zerg.
I think you're right. He scouted it with a Zergling, so we'll see if he's able to react. And yes, we do see g0rynich pulling those units into that 3rd base, bringing Mutalisk down. This could be a big pickup here for g0rynich.
Yeah, he needs to scan before he goes in there. And
where are those?
Yeah, good. He knows the Zerg is ready, so he's going somewhere else.
Oh, I see.
Smart.
That is smart.
Keep maneuvering. You have to keep maneuvering until an opportunity presents itself. You can't just jam it in.
So we do see an Ultralisk out on the field. A little bit of a miss rally. He's taking a lot of damage from some Bioforce here. 4 vessels moving their way towards the south side of the map, looking to get some big
Ambushing
pickups in.
lurkers,
Oof.
killing both. Even more
Wow.
gas. See, Zerg is now out of gas, so these 5 Ultralisks he's making, that's like it until he gets more bases. And Ret certainly is poised to destroy the 6 o'clock. He's ravaging just everything in the natural, radiating freely. Being
Oh,
so
one
confident
vessel
right
will
now.
fall.
Oh, taking a fight here outside of Swarm. Getting to kill some more lurkers. And a drop in the
Ooh.
main.
Nice play going down.
A drop in the
though,
main
from
and attacking the
G0rynich.
natural, like units everywhere.
Just everywhere. He's attacking on all fronts at this point.
Taking out 6 o'clock, dropping in the main, threatening the natural.
It's just too much. It's just too much
Yeah,
pressure.
Here comes the first.
Too much to
Dude,
defend.
if he gets this Ultra Cavern in the main. Oh, he can't. Okay, okay. But here's the thing. He's taking fights. There are so many fights that Zerg cannot have Swarm everywhere. So he's getting to kill gas units by forcing swarmless fights, essentially.
And 6 o'clock falls, so he will remain in this game.
That drop in the main, it took out an Ultralisk, you know? So that's actually worth it for him. If you can get an Ultralisk without even using energy on a vessel, you'll take that.
I mean, really what's surprising is it's forcing no pressure out of g0rynich. There's just so many attacks, you know, whether it's the vessels, whether it's bio in the main, whether it's the drop, that he doesn't even need to build a bunker at his own third. It's just impossible to keep up with. But, we do see this ultra count starting to spiral out of control
Indeed.
here.
So the next wave of Irradiates, essentially, are going to have to land. But this might go to a 4-base situation for Zerg. And this is when the Zerg starts to just A-move units everywhere. And the Terran gets on the back foot.
Yes, that 4 gas really is the key point for Zerg, where you feel like you can finally have a map presence. You can really put pressure on of your own. And like I was saying, there's just no defense here at this third. This could be a killing blow here from g0rynich. Big plague going down on those vessels as well. Those vessels are getting so low. Meanwhile, also another counter timing coming from g0rynich to that natural. Fortunately, those 2 bunkers really doing some work, putting a lot of damage out on those Ultralisks, but more Ultralisks and Zerglings actually following this up. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough damage to really deal with these. We'll have to wait and see. Third base does fall as well for Ret. And there is no counter pressure going on whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think he's done it.
Double expanding behind this, yeah.
Oh my goodness. GG is called out from Ret. Wow. Okay. I mean, that was just beautifully played. I like the adjustment, you know, on the map, opening 9 pool, which really didn't even seem to pay off a ton early game for g0rynich, but it didn't seem to matter. It was enough to kind of throw Ret off of his own build order path. You know, he got great pickups with those Mutalisks around the map. Got the run by, which was, you know, really what set him up for this victory here. I mean, just phenomenally played there from g0rynich, and he finally gets on the board.
Yeah, okay, there was one wild potential Ret Terran moment, and that was the run by into the main. And we saw like half of the Marines get stuck behind the medics, which was unfortunate. He mismicroed there, the terrain got, he got Starcrafted, you know, it happens.
Yeah.
If that hadn't happened, he could have won that game. The same way he won every other game.
Very true. I mean, he still made it a fight, for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Thelio. Thanks for watching this and sponsoring this great event, guys. It's a $350 prize pool. Every single game is worth almost $40.
Yeah, it's really incredible that Thelio put these show matches on. These are just so much fun to watch. I'm gonna use the restroom really quick. I'll be right back.
All right.
All right. In the meantime, this map though, match points, really favors Ret in this matchup because if you look at what Zerg has and what Terran has, what Zerg has is like that. For example, Terran needs to know how to wall off his natural or speedings are too strong. g0rynich doesn't really like to go for that many speedings. Although we did see in one game that he won he went for speeding run-by. But other than that, he doesn't really go for speeding all-ins. And the second thing is, if you make non-stop mass Mutalisks over the natural, it can be very strong. Because you can camp the natural and cut off reinforcement from the main to the natural, which g0rynich does not want to do. So none of the stuff that's good for his race, he really enjoys doing. But what's good for Terran on this map is that if you get past all of that, if you don't die to Speedlings, you know how to wall off on this map with the SimCity, and you don't die to the Mass Mutalisks, then you can just macro, like pure bio macro. You can end up like maxed versus the Terran, versus the Zerg's 110 control, because the Zerg never gets a 4th base. It's insane. Like, you actually end up with 4 Terran bases versus 3 Zerg bases, like 200 food, 210, and that Ret can go for sure. So this seems like a good map for Ret.
I was also just speak to someone about cross positions on maps like Polypoid and how much I love it because you get these long, stretched out games. And I was just thinking how 2-player maps by default, they're usually cross positions, at least the newer ones. And that's maybe why we see just long, great games on them sometimes. Like Eclipse, I'm thinking of. But there's other maps where you just have 2 spawning positions that are far away from each other.
Yeah, it is like a 4-player map, except without the bases. So, you know, like on Polypoid, Zerg is going to get some bases. You can't stop it as Terran. So instead, Terran resorts to like Doom Drops, Battle Cruisers, or even mech transitions. But on this map, you can actually just go bio all game. You never have to change. You don't even have to do anything. You're just... If you never lose a vessel, like on this map, it's actually enough to just never lose a vessel. If you can do that, you can win on this map. Don't lose to any hidden expansions, which isn't that hard, and don't lose a vessel. And you can do great. If you want to see an example of that, there's a game on YouTube with like, it's Flash versus Effort on this map. If you want an example. Anyway, so, yeah, also, Ret picked this map.
This is Match Point, is it?
Yeah, Ret picked Match Point. And I was just talking about how this is such a great map for not only Terran, but the Ret specifically versus g0rynich, and he did pick it.
Oh, yeah, I 100% agree with everything you're saying, Voddy. Like, if there was a Ret map for TVZ, like, this is the one, right? Like,
yeah.
it just really lends itself to so much strength in early bio play. You know, you expect the vessels. It's not a big drop map, but that's fine because, I mean, Ret doesn't tend to open drop anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all good things.
This is a vessel retention map. That's what this is. On this map, you can actually win by simply never losing a vessel in TVZ. Don't die to any hidden expansions, and don't lose a vessel. And that's like it. That's enough. If you can pull that off, you're probably going to win this map.
Cool fact. So this map is made by Earth Attack, who also made Blue Storm. He's made Plasma. He's made Destination. He's made Battle Royale. He's made Circuit Breaker. He's made Pathfinder. And the new ASL maps, I believe, Hidden Track is made by him, or Q.
Okay.
So veteran map maker who's made a lot of big hits.
Yeah, he's one of the classics, we could say.
Yep. This is actually a pretty fair and balanced map, I'd say, for the matchup, though, still. Like, Zerg definitely still has some pretty good options. Third base can be a little difficult to hold with the 2 entrances for a Zerg player. But overall, still very playable. There are some good qualities for Zerg, like I think Muta Harass at the natural can be very difficult to hold, the main as well. So good things for g0rynich here on this map as well.
Yeah, but they're all things that he doesn't really go for that much. Like, he doesn't like to go mass meter, right? He doesn't like to go mass speeding. So the stuff he likes to do, he doesn't, and he also doesn't have a Hydra Lurker, which is good in this map. So I just don't see him using this map as much as Ret is. I think if Ret just plays a normal game with vessel retention, he naturally does what he should on this map.
I think you could
naturally
be right.
suits him.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 2H again, it seems like. Actually, is it? No. He's doing this like in between build where he's banking a bunch of minerals. I think that's because he, I don't know, he might be tilted, actually. See, he's floating on minerals a bunch.
He did because he's trying to trick Rhett. He saved 3 larvae in the main and then made 3 drones, hoping that Rhett would put down a bunker.
Okay.
That's what that is.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, Rhett did not put down a bunker.
Rhett is too confident. Like, you can go literally 3 hatch on 3 bases, the most lean spam build of all, and Rhett is just not going to care. Like, he just does not care. He's just a wild beast, you know?
I mean, it's so true. He was willing to wait and see what those 3 larvae were, confirm it with the SCV before doing anything. I mean, wow, that SCV fell very quickly.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Actually, he could be facing lurkers now, and he could lose to it. Like, if g0rynich goes all in lurker right now, it could work because of that. But what I was saying is, if he's not even going to care about that, what happened on the Fighting Spirit game, then he certainly is not going to care about this. You know?
No, absolutely not.
And he didn't. He didn't fall for it.
No bunker at the natural. This is it's kind of shocking. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet a lot of aggressive Zergs watching this are just thinking, like, man, I could smash that natural right now.
Eon Zerg's just licking his lips.
Yeah.
You know, like...
He's like, man, invite me to these show matches. Like, let me play. Alright, we see a bunker now.
Finally. But yeah, it took a while.
But yeah, it's just gonna be Mutalisk again, and Rhett should assume it, I think. Like, when you lose your SCB like that, you just have to guess what you think he's going to do. Just pick one option and guess, and if you guess wrong, you die, but that's just how it is when that happens.
I mean, at least with this bunker at the natural, there is something to deal with lurkers, but it's, you know, obviously you'd want 2 bunkers probably against a lurker opener here, but it'll be fine.
Yeah, he has the bunker, that's true. It's just that essentially he would end up, if he doesn't guess the lurker, he'll end up making turrets against lurkers, which is just as bad as not making enough bunkers.
Very true.
You're too far behind.
I mean, the problem is g0rynich has given Rhett no reason in this series to think he would do otherwise.
Yeah. Right.
A player like, I guess, just to go back, Eon Zerg, you would never open the same build every single game in a best of 9 series. You know, like he's a lot more elusive, elaborate. Yeah. He adjusts. He'll throw a crazy build out there just to get you thinking about it later again in the series. So you know, g0rynich, he's just used to being a tank, right? He's just gonna outplay you at every bit of every point of the game in the most optimal way, and eventually he's gonna win through attrition. And we have seen that. You know,
we saw it last game. Yeah,
we did see it last game, so he absolutely has the capability to do that.
Yeah, when there's not like a banana peel that somebody slips on or anything, then he wins. It's just that every single time, except that one game, something happened. Because Rhett's forcing mistakes. That's his plan, essentially. His style is make situations occur in which you can make a mistake, and then when you make a mistake, you die. But if there are mistakes, he loses. He runs out of steam playing out that.
So a little bit of pressure was being put on there from Rhett with that slight move out. He's forced these muta, but he's decided to back up into the main. I guess he's a little worried about potential muta play here. Still no Zergling speed from g0rynich. Very fast Hydra Den. And actually +1 attack for air being researched by g0rynich. This lends me to believe he could be opening... It could be... I'm thinking mass muta, actually.
Well, he has no Hydra Den, so he has to be going lurker. Like, I mean, I don't know. Could be Hydra Lurker Guardian, because then if you actually camp the spot, like, above the natural, and you just stand there, you can shoot at the natural base from... It's like what Terran does to Protoss, you know, you can do that with the Guardians.
You're right. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but you're right. I was wondering what the +1 air attack was for.
People do go Hydra Lurker Guardian, and this is a good map for it.
Yeah, it can be a very good play, but it's so difficult to pull off. Not a build I tend to favor too often, but still an adjustment from g0rynich, so I like to see it.
Or we're reading into this too much. Maybe he's just getting +1 air. Who knows?
Yeah,
he's
I think so.
Overall.
Yeah, we're not seeing a Queen's Nest, which makes me think it's not Guardian at this point.
Oh, we saw a new Mutalisk come out, so it is a heavy Mutalisk investment, like you said. It's like he's getting some lurkers, but he's not going all Muta, you know? He's just making a few more than standard.
It looks just like a lurker Muta timing, almost. Queen's Nest going down the main. I don't know, we're just overthinking it. This is We'll see. It
Well,
could
he's
still
going
be
up a
guarded.
lot of Mutalisks here, so if he defends with Lurkers and then counterattacks the main with a high amount of Mutalisks, that could be effective.
We already see Lurker being morphed at the natural Lurkers at the third as well. I like g 0rynich's position once again here.
I agree. And at this point, he's so safe, he has so many Lurkers. He could actually just enter the main. He doesn't need to be delaying the army like this to Mutalisks. He's safe enough. With 3 Lurkers at every base, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think there's much Rhett's really going to be able to do here. But once again, just by sitting in this ball in the middle of the map, he's putting pressure on g 0rynich. g 0rynich is making things other than drones right now. He's making Lurkers. He's making more Muta. He's just not quite really able to kind of snowball one way or the other.
Yeah, he was putting pressure on, I agree, until the Lurkers finished. But now, what they're actually doing is more of a defensive thing, where you're not letting the Lurkers get to your natural, so that at any time they move, you can, like you said earlier before this game started, you can always pick a Lurker off if he tries to advance. But at this point, there's really no way for Rhett to threaten g 0rynich.
Ooh, I like it. 3 Lurkers moving outside the natural of g 0rynich.
Exactly. This is why you're on the map, to stop this.
This is what you were talking about earlier. I mean, he should be doing this, playing a little more aggressive, especially when he's in such a good position. Marines walking into these Lurkers. I think they're on hold position.
Yeah,
this could get really dangerous here. Ooh, positioning the Muta to try to bait him into attacking.
Oh!
Beautiful play.
Yeah, good job. Really good. So the Mutalisks there, what they were doing is like constricting the movement of the Marines, so they couldn't just see that coming, you know? That's why he wasn't in the main. And that was a very good way to use them too. You know, harass, force them to chase around.
Yeah,
so
it was a very good way to use them.
The random spots on the map. And he's sending even more Lurkers out now. You just keep doing it, you know, keep setting him out. And an Ultra Cavern behind this already.
I don't know if I like the Ultra Cavern before Defiler Mound. You're ahead, like, use the Defilers, stay alive.
Just take a 4th base, right? Well, it is difficult to take a 4th base on this map, so he's thinking, I guess, to brute force it with Ultras. To get to it. And dude, he's killing so many Marines. What is this?
These Mutas with +1 are just snowballing.
Yeah.
They're adding really all the damage he kind of needs at this point. Oh, going for a vessel pick off.
Yep.
Oh, didn't retain that vessel, that's for sure. And actually going to use these Mutas to delay the third as well. Ooh, Rhett in a little bit of a pickle here.
Yeah. He can for sure get a 4th gas once he has these Ultralisks out. Now, normally, if you go for Ultra without Swarm, you're a little bit susceptible to like a huge Marine ball, but the Marine count was reset like thrice this game. So I think he could actually win with literally pure Ultra.
I think you're right.
Look at the 4th base. It's uncontested.
I think this is the right call after all that.
Look at these Lurkers. That's fancy.
That's cute. I've never seen that. Picking off those 2 turrets at the natural with Lurkers. 3rd base still delayed here for Rhett as well. Meanwhile, 4th base going down for g 0rynich, the Ultra Cavern, as you mentioned, Ultra Armor on the way, as well as both Evo Chambers plugging away at those upgrades for this Zerg ground. G 0rynich is in a pretty commanding lead.
Yeah, see, when he goes more aggressive, it works out. When he's out on the map with Lurkers, you know, taking the initiative. That's actually one of the central points of the US Army doctrine. It's to take the initiative. It's working now, for sure.
It absolutely is. Right here, moving in. Looking to pick off another Lurker. Will not be able to. Ooh! Oh. Bad rally.
Good
Might
pick off.
be able to grab a couple more Lurkers here. But
One more.
A lot of Zerglings moving in. Oh no.
But the Marines are just dying. Damn.
Not enough. Those 2-1 upgrades just
The first
not quite
pick off
doing
was
it.
good, but they needed to back off after that.
Yeah, I agree. I think he just overstayed his welcome a little too long here. But reinforcements still might be able to hold this 3rd base of Rhett.
One thing, though, pretty good about this is that essentially what we're doing here is trading minerals for gas. And Zerg is bleeding gas. Well, I would say it would matter if he had a 3rd gas only, but he has a 4th gas on the way, so I guess he can take it.
Yeah, this fourth gas will be key from g0rynich. He really needs to get that up as soon as possible. Such a heavy drone count from g0rynich as well. 45 drones to 47 SCVs.
And no supply advantage for Terran almost, which you need to have at this point.
Yeah,
everything you do relies on a supply advantage. If you don't have it, you don't function.
You know how you talked about fourth gas being kind of that tipping point? I think we're going to get there a little earlier this game.
Yeah, easily, yeah.
He's got to hold this third, though. 3 lurkers, or 3 sunkens and some ultras on the way. He should be fine.
This is an interesting attempt.
I like the D-Matrix play.
Yeah,
Ooh.
for sure. Oh,
Vessels getting caught out, though. 2 vessels will fall before they get their irradiates off.
So many ultralisks. Way too many.
Ooh, I would have liked to see some more irradiates, but I guess he didn't quite have the energy. Big surround, and another massive pickup here for g0rynich.
Yeah, so he's... I have to say that he cannot lose from here. Like, he should not lose from here. But what do you think happened in this game? I think, essentially, he managed to kill so many Marines with that tactical maneuver. Keep the Marines busy so that you can move some lurkers around sneakily. And then the lurkers really paid off.
I 100% agree. I think that hold position with the Muta in the center was really just the difference. You know, that was not a point where Rhett could really afford to lose map control with the those units. It ended up freeing up pressure on the third, ended up freeing up potential pressure on the fourth.
Yeah.
And really, Rhett barely held his own third. So it's just
even
it's just kind of snowballing.
Up, yeah.
Oh, big attack here coming in. We have looks like 4 ultralists, a lot of zerglings, decent medic wall, and actually really good targeting by Rhett.
A little bit more cost effective than it has any right to be, actually.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there. I thought that g0rynich had that. Oh, I see.
This is what he should be doing. He's counterattacking, cutting off reinforcements.
But there is a bunker at that third. That should really
and he has
hinder.
no swarms. The counterattack isn't that strong, actually. You're right.
Yeah, I'd like to see a Defiler mound. You know, he does have that ultra presence. He definitely has map control. A kind of a way Zergs that are ahead early tend to lose is by getting overconfident and thinking they can skip out on those Defilers. Right. But really, it's Defilers are just so good.
Yeah, it's so counterintuitive, but Defilers are actually anti-Vessel too, because of Plague.
Absolutely, they're anti-everything. Plague is such a strong spell.
Like, Vessels are anti-everything, Defilers are anti-everything, including each other. But but yeah, if you never take out a Vessel, they just become oppressive. And without Defilers, it's difficult to take them out. These
Third base does fall. Ooh, these Scourge could really hurt. I mean, he's got to keep these Vessels alive.
Yeah, the Marines showing up to rescue.
Oh, just in time to save at least one. Man.
But the 5 bad base Zerg. Ugh, I can't even pronounce. This Zerg is just disgustingly huge right now.
Yeah, if there was a game where you could get away without Defiler, it would be this one. There's just too many resources at this point. It feels like supply advantage is for Rhett, but slightly. You'd actually expect it to be a little more. I feel like Rhett needs to start dropping some more barracks or another starport. He's got to get some kind of additional pressure going on here. This is going to spiral.
Yeah, normally in this situation, you're supposed to have like at least 50 more supply than the Zerg. Because the Zerg has more mobility, so the only way you can stop it is by having units everywhere, which of course requires a supply advantage, which luckily Terran can get. That's why the game is balanced enough. But he just doesn't have it here. He lost too many Marines early. He's only barely ahead on supply, and he's about to lose some Vessels.
Oh no, you cannot lose Vessels at this point. Two
go down.
Oof. Really, I mean, I was hyping up his Vessel retention, but I feel like that's kind of been the deciding factor here. If he was able to keep some of these, or a few more of these Vessels alive early, he'd still be in this, but...
That is a way to make a comeback, yeah. It is actually a way to make a comeback as a Terran. If you never lose a Vessel starting right now, and you keep that up, you could come back. But it's hard against Ultralisks, because you want to not float on Vessel energy. But the Ultralisks are so dynamic, unlike the static Lurker, that it's like, how do you reach the Ultralisk without putting your Vessel in danger, And then the Zerg is ready
Yeah.
for it, and he punishes.
Exactly. There's not a great answer, really. I mean, I'd like to see an eraser at that third base.
Yeah, go for it, man. That's a good attempt. Because Zergs don't get
Oof.
burrow. They just don't.
Yeah. Yeah, Burrow can be so good at defending that. Big
Dude.
surround here from g0rynich.
He's just killing it right now, Rhett. He has no right to be winning this battle this hard. That's because there's no swarm.
It really is. Like I was saying before, it's such a common way for Zergs that just get overconfident, in which, I mean, g 0rynich had every right to be. I've made the same mistake countless times.
He's
You
getting
gotta have
talented.
defilers.
Yeah, okay, so going ultra first to take the 4th gas, that's good. But then when you have it, you need to add it to the fighter.
Yeah, you absolutely do. We do have the 5-3 upgrades on the way here for g 0rynich. They're going to finish momentarily, but I think that was really kind of the big decider here. He needed those last 2 upgrades before he could really afford to take such a big trade against Rhett. Rhett, though, will kill off this 3rd base, and suddenly it's 4 base Zerg versus 3 base Terran with a 4th command center
4th base on the way, really?
Yeah. Main and natural mined out, though, for Rhett. He's going to need to hold top left here.
Yeah. It's still winnable if we see a Defiler Mon go down. If we don't, then this Marine Ball is just going to get bigger and bigger.
And I mean, he's got the gas for it at the moment. He really could afford to put down that Defiler Mound, but I don't know. Maybe he wants to make a point here. Just kill him with Ultra only. SCV is being transferred up to that top left base. That base will be key. Rhett needs to hold on to that base in order to stay in this, but I gotta say, suddenly I'm really liking Rhett's position.
Yeah, one way for g 0rynich to come back would be to constantly send Zerg and harassment up there, which he's not doing right now. CD, oh wow, okay, that's good. That's really good. So more of that. But if he see these idle Zerglings, they could be up here harassing in the top left. You know, they cost nothing. Just keep doing it.
Ooh, Rhett attacking that 6 o'clock base as well.
Yeah, look at all these sunken stuff. Oh, they're not done yet. Rhett's just coming in, and then he's going to use the choke point to defend against the Ultralisks.
Good medic wall.
If there's no swarm. Just imagine the Defiler here, dude.
Ooh,
imagine -2 Ultra on the Defiler.
It would be, I mean, it would just be so difficult to deal with. Ooh, nice medic wall, though. Once again, Rhett just knows how to position those medics for every single fight. It's so annoying as a Zerg when you have so many Ultras and Zerglings, and they can't do anything because, you know, a couple of Healy girls are blocking the way.
Yeah, who would win? Like a huge mammoth with tusks, or like some Healy? Well,
like 2 medics. Yeah. Oh man. Wow. As you said, we needed to see that Zergling counter, and that's exactly what we're going to see here top left from g 0rynich. Rhett, though, he's scouted it out. He's smelled it out. He's...
Yeah,
oh!
You need to be doing this constantly. But losing that base to 6 o'clock means he can't really afford to just throw off, you know, throw away links constantly, which is what he needed to do.
Yeah, not at this point. I think you're absolutely right there.
Not to mention that having the Defilers makes those counterattacks a lot better. Because once you get a swarm down, it's so hard to get rid of units there.
I guess another key fact here is main gas depleted, natural about to be here in a second for g 0rynich, which essentially means he's on 1 final remaining gas.
Well, he plugs the hole at the 6 o'clock with the medics. He reacts.
Drone can't make a base there. Oh no. I mean, really, g 0rynich is just caught between a rock and a hard place at this point.
Yeah, now we can keep denying 12 and 6 forever. Just keep denying that, and keep retaining vessels, and keep spending irradiate energy.
And there's no Defiler Mound still. It's...
yeah, I mean, that plan would have worked even if there were a Defiler Mound, and there isn't even one, so that's crazy.
A lot of irradiates going down
what a great spike that's getting here. That's just huge. That D-Matrix, the ball, you know.
Beautiful surround, though, from g 0rynich, utilizing each and every single one of those Ultralisks that have been irradiated.
Yeah, yeah, but he got, I mean, isn't that like a good trade for Rhett? Honestly, like those Ultras are dead now. Yeah,
being on, you know, these 2 remaining mining bases, I think any trade at this point is starting to look pretty good here for Rhett. There's no way with that Bioforce at 6 o'clock and no swarm that
Yeah.
g0rynich ever takes 6 o'clock. He's got to hold 12, and Rhett knows it.
Yeah, and bunkers are so strong now that there are, and there are 2 bunkers there. Since there's no swarm, they just destroy.
Oh, he
He's ready
stims
to
the
get
Marines.
CVs to repair.
Big
Ready with
repairs
sandbag.
going down. Oh my goodness, he keeps those bunkers alive?
Yeah, nice. Good awareness.
Very good awareness.
So 12 o'clock did go up during all of this, but can he really hold it? No, he can't.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's going to be very difficult if he does so. I mean, 12 o'clock might allow him to get the additional gas he needs to take make defilers here, but
Yeah.
either way,
Isn't he mined out? Like, his geysers in the main and natural. They should be empty now. Or at least the main one should be empty, so he's actually
they
at
are.
3 gas, not 4. He's
Yeah.
at 3 gas, about to be 2. And you don't want to make the fighter open on that.
Actually.
Yeah, okay, he's 2 gas.
Ooh, and actually, even 12 o'clock about to mine out in 1,000 gas as well. So,
wow.
I mean, that's the one good thing you can say about bio. You know, it's just minerals. It's you know, you don't have to worry about not having additional Vespian gas. Ooh, big counter coming top left from g0rynich.
Yeah, but the Terran attack is scarier at the natural mineral only.
It absolutely is. It's so much bio here. I think top left might fall though. This could be very bad.
Only temporarily. He can just lift off, you know, and retake it.
Ooh, a lot of SCVs falling though.
Yeah, he's doing damage, and that stuff is great when you have like an economy behind it. You keep doing this, and eventually Terran dies. But as a desperation move, it's just not enough.
I don't know.
Behind it.
I don't like this from Rhett. He's splitting off and trying to attack bottom right, but there's just so many sunkens. He's going to be forced to retreat.
Yeah, given that there are no swarms, he needs to stick together in the ball with a medic wall. And he's doing that now again.
I feel like he could kill the main even, g0rynich here.
Yeah, he can. I agree. He can go for the main.
Ooh, last
Another
remaining
great fight for
vessel
Red here.
falls. We're not seeing any more vessels being built, though, from Rhett.
Which I actually agree with. I completely agree with that.
Really? Why is that?
Because, well, it's like, you know, it's just a bunch of ultras. And vessels are really not that good against ultras, because you can't really catch them. It's not like versus lurkers, you know where they are. You can always spend energy. So you almost have to float on energy with vessels. Although, yeah, I was going to say he can just deny 6 o'clock and go kill the main with Marines, but he cannot attack the 12 o'clock, nor can he attack the bottom right, so I think he actually does need to go back to vessels. Even battle cruisers would be good. But he needs to take 6, essentially. Take 6, and then just hold on for dear life, and don't die, and he can win.
Oh no. Rhett coming in here for another attack at 12 o'clock. I mean, these Sunkens are just positioned so well, it doesn't really feel like he can quite attack it. Ooh, big engagement coming from g0rynich to Rhett's rally. Rhett going to be forced to retreat to his force. And here we go. Uphill fight from Rhett, but it looks like he still wants to take the trade. Actually, no, g0rynich going top left now.
Yeah, and this is buying time for 6 o'clock, and if 6 o'clock gets fortified with Sunkens, then g0rynich will win. 100%. If not, Red could win in the late game. So Red is cleaning it up. Well, one of the attacks. The other
a lot of SCVs falling at the 3rd and 4th of Red. I think I kind of feel like g0rynich has done it. This has just hindered his econ way too much.
Yeah. He's getting to that just A move units everywhere stage, you know? And when that happens, you know you're winning.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just too much.
You know, Red, he almost had it. He was almost making a comeback. Seriously.
He definitely was. He really was. But I think g0rynich just too strong here. Too many units, too much econ. You know, he's the final victor here. I mean, he's just got the better economy. He's just did a good job of really spreading Rhett too thin between his bases. I mean, if yeah, top left will be cleared, and GG is called by Rhett. Holy shit! What a game!
One of the best games I've ever observed.
That was a bloody back and forth. Wow.
It
I really
was.
thought the g0rynich was so far ahead. Then I really thought Red was so far ahead.
And I think they were, but I mean, just hats off to
They were.
Rhett really for hanging in there early game, and then g0rynich to come back and really retain that victory after being in, I mean, just quite a difficult spot. I think the key moment was g0rynich really having the proper defense bottom right to deal with that timing. Rhett was not
Yeah.
expecting that.
Yeah, he wasn't. Had he
it
gone
made
for
all
the
the
main
difference.
there, he could have won actually. Because what happens then is you're killing all of the 1 units as they come out, you know. And then you destroy all the tech. Like you were saying, you could have gone for the main. And had he done that instead of going for the bottom right, not giving time for the units to hatch, he could have won.
Yeah, he absolutely could have.
Like,
I mean, it was still close. It was down to the wire even at the end. But...
Yep.
You gotta squeeze a win out of Rhett.
Oh, you do. He makes sure earn it.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, g0rynich did it, and without a Defiler Mound, I was calling it from the beginning, saying he probably needed that Defiler Mound, but he proved me wrong. He made it happen.
Yeah.
That was an awesome, almost 30-minute game. I mean, all the games have been fantastic, but that was quite a treat. Last game, guys. What's the map?
Luna, the final. What a game!
Luna. Now the reason it shows this, I mean, let's look at what other maps like there are. Let's see here. Let's look at the map pool. So he could have chosen. Actually, I think we're out of maps. As a matter of fact, so
I think there's
standardish
more,
ones,
but...
right?
Yeah. Yeah, they picked the standard ones. I mean, they could have picked something like Gorky Island or, you know, Estrella or, you know, Nostalgia, but these guys are more modern players. They wanted to play more of the modern style, even on older maps here. So I'm not surprised to see Luna picked, actually.
Wasn't Luna the second LT? Wasn't it the popular standard map after LT? It was before Python, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was a Lost Temple, Luna, Python, Fighting Spirit. And then I guess Polypoid replaced Fighting Spirit, maybe you could say.
Yeah,
I'd
finally
say
in
that.
the post-Fighting Spirit era, it finally happened after like 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, it had to get taken out of the ladder map pool in order for that to happen. But yeah, I think I 100% agree. Polypoid's the next Fighting Spirit at the moment. But Luna, like you're saying, the map after Lost Temple. Lost Temple was the map forever, and finally people got bored of it, and they're like, okay, we need something else that's kind of balanced. And Luna's what they came up with, and it's, I mean, a very good map, gas at the natural, all the standard things you'd expect, ramp leading to the main. Really, like, there's just a lot of constricted little pathways leading from base to base, which can kind of, you know, favor small unit fighting. So we'll, for Terran, I feel like. So we'll see how that kind of goes. Ooh, 9 pool in the main of g0rynich, though.
Alright. Yeah, this map is racially balanced enough, but positionally balanced to all hell. Like, where you have to put your turrets, shuttles versus Terran, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, the maps just back in the day weren't as, like, what do you call it? Like, even, symmetrical.
Right.
There we go.
For sure.
Yeah, so it was...
Partially because you could not have those hacked ramps we have now. Well, not they're not even hacked, now they're a feature, not a bug, but... You know, but before Remaster, we had to hack the game to add different ramps, and we hadn't figured out how to do that yet.
Yeah.
You couldn't make synergy. You literally couldn't on 4-player maps. Anyway, 9 pool, and Rhett scattering it first again. You lucky bastard.
Yeah, he's so lucky. They both kind of scout each other first too, but this 9 pool will not catch Rhett off guard here. Sees the first 6 Zerglings pass. He knows exactly what's going on. I'd expect him to pull another 4 or 5 SCVs, block his ramp with this early Marine, not take any damage, and then we just gonna have a standard game from there.
Yeah, he should block the ramp now. He's doing it good. He's doing it.
Ooh, only 3 SCVs. Could be a little... Oh, no, he's bringing 2 more. So he will get the wall up just in time to deal with this 9 pool. Oh, pulls the SCV even. Oh, but actually, that little misclick is going to allow g0rynich to get a Marine kill.
Oh yeah, but he wasn't making links behind us, so it's okay.
Oof. Yeah, that not bad. Good hold there from
In fact, you could even argue this is good for Terran. Because
yeah, he traded 1
Marine
Marine
make
for...
more Zerglings later. one rain for like 5 links, and he has to make more links later, which is fewer drones.
Oh, is that SCV gonna die? Not quite.
We got a Seeking running around with 7 HP.
Yeah. Yeah, crafty little critter. Trying to get any damage he can done with it, or at least tax Rhett's multitasking here. I mean, it's just highly underrated. Even if you know you have this weak Zergling and it's not going to be able to get any damage, he's now scouted the Academy, he's scouted the gas timing, he's forced an SCV to be pulled. You know, he pulled the Marines all the way to the very back corner of his main, where if he had been choosing to do some type of a Ling pressure again, they would be out of position. You know, makes Rhett feel a little uncomfortable. So really good control there from g0rynich.
And we actually saw one Rax Academy in this game. So the stim pack and the range will be very quick.
Very true. But it is scouted. It was scouted, though, by that Zergling. So I wonder if g0rynich will be able to react in time and expect this early stin timing from Rhett.
Yeah, he should be ready for that. But Rhett, we've seen throughout the set that he doesn't like to fight with Marines pre-range. He retreats to his turrets and stands in his main until he gets range. Now that range will be earlier. So we might see like a massive sunken bust or something. Pre-lurker timing. A lot
I can tell you, Rhett definitely loves his stim timings, and he knows how to do them. So we'll see. A lot of Zerglings, though, from g0rynich.
A lot of speeding, but we have a bunker, don't we? And Firebats on the way.
Bunker, Firebats.
And this time, he's standing on the ramp. He doesn't want to die the same way again. That's in rush hour.
Here we go. Marine SCVs being pulled.
Look at how ready he is with SCVs.
He's so good.
That's really good, because actually, if there are like a few more links there and you don't repair the bunker, he can just destroy the bunker. So that's why you need to be ready for that with SCVs.
Rhett just very confidently pulling the SCVs, doesn't unblock, finally unblocks that ramp, but he's got a Firebat. I mean, a Firebat kind of ends this.
Yeah, it's over now. He's safe.
eBay is finishing up in the main. Stim is completed as well right now, and early range on the way, as you called, Voddy. Very,
he's going
very
to
good
have
position.
range for the first Mutalisk. That's crazy.
Ooh, Stim coming out from Rhett. He really wants to move out here. Actually backing up. Knows he might be forcing a second sunken. Actually, drone pulling to make a sunken and then backing up the second Rhett backed up. I like just the quick reaction here from g0rynich.
Rhett actually doesn't know how ahead he is. He's getting turrets needlessly early. Because normally you need to have turrets by now for sure, but in this game, with the 9 food and all of that, he actually could have added 2 or even 3 more barracks before going turrets. But the reason he doesn't know that is that he didn't rush scan, and he couldn't like feel that. Like nobody knows exactly how quick Zerg is in a weird game like this, and so he made more SCVs instead of scans. So that's still okay for him.
Yeah, those extra SCVs will just gain him some additional resources over time, so it kind of works out.
Oh, and he's actually going for a fast factory anyway, so that makes the turrets okay to go for. He's not going for mass marine or anything. Just gonna go to vessels.
Mutas do scout 2 turrets at the natural, 3rd coming in. I don't see any holes from Rhett.
No, he's gonna be able to take up the vessels pretty comfortably here. And then I wonder if we'll see SK Terran or a tank push again, like we saw in Gaia. This is a good game for a tank push, for sure.
Yeah, g0rynich's econ has just been annihilated from that early speedling timing that didn't quite get any damage done. 2 sunkens as well because they're close position. No 3rd, even close to being started here for g0rynich. So I think Rhett knows it. He's playing like he knows it.
He scans the main and confirms. He should confirm and understand that it's all in Mutalisk right now. After seeing that.
Well, good pickup from those Muta. Picking off a Marine. Starport will go down, so it will not be a tank push.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. Not against this all-in Mutalisk. And he lifted the factory, he knows. He knows what he's up against. He just has to survive, get to vessels, and he'll win.
+1 attack halfway completed as well for Rhett. Meanwhile, +1 air attack on the way for g0rynich, so that definitely confirms this has to be very aggressive Muta play.
Yeah, he
Oh,
does
g
seem to have a
0rynich!
base.
I don't think Rhett has enough turrets in the main here. g 0rynich might be able to get some good damage
Yeah.
done.
So he's going into the main, and then hoping Ret would counterattack like he's done every other game. But now he has sunk into the front. But Ret isn't really going for Mass Marine, so I don't think he has to counterattack. I think he just has to defend and get to vessels. That's his plan.
I think you're absolutely right. Oh wow, those
A lot of
Marines
Marines dying, though,
falling. So many Marines. Yeah, I feel like Rhett didn't react properly and pull enough Marines actually to deal with this. Those turrets are a little out of position to
I
deal
agree
with.
that. Yeah, out of position. Not placed well.
Yeah. Little unfortunate here for Rhett, but g 0rynich, I mean, he needed this damage to get done in order to stay in this game. And I mean, still picking off SCVs. This is gonna
Making
hurt.
drones behind us now. Yeah. This is the damage he needed. He feels.
Oh
let's
my!
get third base though. Oh, so many units.
Those depots and Academy are just making such a difficult position to defend. Oh no!
Needed those turrets to the right.
He absolutely needed those turrets.
Oh,
Beautiful
the rally
control.
drones at the front might die here. Taking out the turrets here though is great with these Zerglings. It's picking them apart.
And there's no bio at the natural. g 0rynich just picking Rhett apart at the moment. Academy is very low. Rhett only on 20 SCVs at the moment. The natural is slowly falling to these group of Zerglings. This is just, I mean,
there are no
beautiful
turrets
control.
in natural, so it's dead.
Yep, beautiful control though from g 0rynich here to get this kind of damage done with these Muta.
Yeah, and the lurker follow-up could actually end the game.
Yeah, I think it will. We do have a vessel out, but no irradiate for Rhett. No SCVs is really the bigger issue here.
Yeah.
You know, the turrets that he does have aren't placed to really defend that main or natural at this point. Yeah, a little frustrating here for Rhett, I'm sure. Meanwhile, g 0rynich, Hive on the way, finally takes that third bottom left. He's getting his Hydralisk, he's getting his Lurker upgrade. I mean, he's really just... Rhett is not in a position to put any damage on g 0rynich at this point.
Lifting is natural even. So now g 0rynich is transitioning to a macro game because he's done more than enough damage.
Yeah, way more than enough. So many Lurkers going down at the natural. 5. I mean, I don't even think he can be out here with this command center at this point. There's no pressure.
Finish, that's why. He's about to have it.
Okay, he does have it.
g 0rynich is ready. He's reading. Very good. Oh, he's gonna go back in? Okay, here we go. Nope.
Nope. Backing up just in time. Also moving across the map with some Lurkers. Rhett knows. I mean, he's just got to get any kind of damage he can done with these two
but
vessels.
a counterattack with these Lurkers could be game-ending, which it looks like he might be going for.
4 Sunkens, 5th being built, and a Lurker at the natural here.
He's safe. This counterattack is...
This is going to end it.
Going to kill. And he's still safe at the front.
Nothing he can do. Here we go. Lurker counter going into the main of Rhett. Good focus firing. Gets 1 Lurker, 2 Lurkers. Good turret on the ramp there. We'll be able to scout these Lurkers out. But, GG is called.
Yeah.
And that is game 9. Wow, g 0rynich. Mounting quite a comeback in the last few games of the series, actually.
Yeah, you love to see it.
Yeah, you definitely do. But Rhett overall taking the series 6-3.
I think that was your guess, man.
I think I cheated. I said 5-4 or 6-3, but yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Rhett just... What else can I say about him? He's just he's such a strong, dominant Zerg and Terran, obviously, across the, the scene. There's a saying in the Netherlands, if you ain't Dutch, you ain't much. And g0rynich definitely ain't Dutch, so Rhett takes it today.
That was an awesome series.
There were some great moments for sure.
Big shout out to Thelio for setting it up. Huge prize pool, guys. $350 show match. So it's a great way to support the foreign players, the cutting edge of the foreign scene in Brood War.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you know, especially to be able to bring someone like Rhett out of his cave to come play a series like this. It's you know,
Yeah,
it's just so nice to see.
Guys, the pro gaming scene, it's awesome, but it'd be nice if a little more people followed the foreign scene, because such great players, great personalities too, and there's a community there that you can get involved with. So I'm hoping to see that, and I think we have been seeing a little bit of that in recent months with more and more people getting into the foreign community. Big shout out to all the event organizers who have showcased the talent and personalities of our best foreign players. And thank you guys for casting this wonderful show match. Machine and Voddy, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you, Ox, once again for having me. Thank you, Thelio, for putting these show matches on. Ox, always a pleasure. This was a fun one. Thanks for letting me cast this one with my buddy Rhett playing in it. I was super hyped to be a part of this, and had a lot of fun. And Voddy, always a pleasure casting alongside yourself, especially such an epic series like this.
You guys killed it, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you to Thelio for the tournament. Thank you to Ox for the stream. Thank you to Machine for casting. Thank you to the players. Good games.
Good games.
All right, guys, that's it. We'll be back in the future with more Thelio show matches. We have Bonnet vs. Dandy. Next will be on Thursday, May 13th. There are BSL events going on Fridays and Saturdays, so unfortunately we had to change the day and time just so we don't overlap with another event. This one will be in the evening time, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Peru. Unfortunately, 3 a.m. in Central European time, but if you can't fall asleep on that day, please tune in. 9 games between Bonnet and Dandy, guys, on these classic maps.
That's gonna be hype. Wow.
And Machine should be around to be co-casting that with,
yes,
I believe,
sir.
Cork and Pato.
Ooh, that'll be
So
fun.
I look forward to it. Yeah, this is an awesome series. Can't thank enough Thelio and Esport Fund, which g0rynich is a member of. He helps.
Awesome.
In the funding committee. So that's really cool how he's a top player and he plays such an active role in supporting the foreign Brood War scene. These guys are really, like the Santa Claus that we didn't have many years ago, right, Machine?
Oh yeah, true. I mean, really, before Remastered, the scene was kind of slow for a while. I feel like, StarCraft 2 scene had a lot to kind of do with that being a little more mainstream at the time. But slowly, you see a lot of us, old school players coming back just because it's still just the best game. It's nice to see what this community's growing into, especially during this time. A little bit more of us are able to be home and participate and watch.
One of the silver linings of COVID, for sure. Guys, if you don't know what or who Esport Fund is, organization that sponsors pretty much every single Brood War series that I know. If you're an event organizer and you're looking for matching funds, you can go to their website, esport.fund. There's an application you can fill out. The brains of Esport Fund, Russ Brain, namely, wonderful individual. He also organizes BWG's Weekly. You can Google that. We're using the map pool of BWG's Weekly in this Showmatch series. He's also organizing the Russian Cyber Games. There was one in 2019. There was one in 2020. There are Wikipedia articles about them. And there is going to be one in 2021. It'll be in August. 10,000 minimum prize pool. And Artosis will be participating in the playoff stage along with many, many more people. Bombastic Star League, the biggest StarCraft Remastered league, will be responsible for broadcasting it. So please do check that out if you've never heard about it. Alright, well, thanks once again to Machine and Voddy.
Yeah, thank you again, Ox, and thank you, viewers. We'll see you next time.
Take care, guys.